calling Shanon. Hi.
This is your game. Please get it. We miss you now.
On a pirate party while the waves they roll.
My name is Shanon. I'm going to be your
Pirate party, ocean breeze.
Whoa, where'd the sea cushion go? Shanon,
Feel the ship rock to and fro.
do you know about this?
They'll never notice.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of the Shanon Show, the best military kids podcast on the internet. Today is very big. It's a big one, guys. It's a big one. We have a guest returning. He hasn't been on the show since his own trial. He was actually on episode 2 of the Shanon Show all the way back then, which meant a whole lot to me, being one of the guys who got this podcast off the ground. It is George Glover, certified dog, is on the show.
Certified dog. Except
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Boot camp was fun. I probably had more fun in boot camp than anyone in history.
No way.
Yes way. No one got me. No one broke me. I'm still the same dude. Still the same dog, you know?
You think so?
Yeah. I literally even got speeches that like I couldn't break you. And I was like, yeah, I know. You know. I had more fun than anyone.
What do you mean they couldn't break you?
So I don't know how much you've heard about boot camp, but like they try to get in your face, you know, like they'll get you face. They break down kids. Like we actually had a kid like try to kill himself in the like middle of thing. Yeah, it was crazy. Like one dude had to tackle him from like keeping him from like jumping off the building and stuff.
Jesus.
Anyway, yeah, we had like he had mental breakdown and all that. So there's a couple kids. Like one kid even pissed on the floor because he was too scared to even ask to use the head, so he just peed on the ground. Is rough, and I'm sitting there just laughing my ass off the entire time. You know, like from day one to graduation, I am just enjoying, loving life, just loving boot camp. Yeah,
Loving it. That sounds so atypical compared to what kids usually say coming out of boot camp.
Yeah,
Like, what's the difference between like, is it a certain perspective you had, or like just a mindset?
perspective, dude. I don't know. I just got in. I didn't even know anything. Is, you know, when like I talk to kids in boot camp, they're like, oh, you probably know everything because, you know, your dad's a master sergeant of the Marine Corps, you know, so like you probably have the inside scoop. And like I didn't even know what rank he was going in, you know, like I just know that man had a lot of stripes on his jacket, you know, like
Right.
hell, yeah, he had a lot of stripes. I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I didn't even, that was my fault.
You good.
Anyway, what was I saying?
You were talking about your dad, the stripes on his jacket.
Yeah, it's stripes. I don't know what I was talking about. Anyway, yeah, less stripes on his jacket. I didn't even know what he was doing. I didn't even know the ranks. I didn't know anything about the Marine Corps. Like when I like got off the bus, you go to like the silver hatches. They're like, this is the silver hatches. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me back up a second. You know how like the yellow footprints, the magical yellow footprints.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
Yeah. You get off the bus, you like go step on the yellow footprints. Like those are the yellow footprints, and everyone's like, you know, the drill soldier's like, this is the yellow footprints like you were standing on. I look down and I'm like, I'm not even standing on anything. I should probably move over and like stand on yellow footprints. Yeah, and then like these silver hatches, and I'm like, what are these things? You know, like I had no clue what was going on, but I was just like loving it.
Were most people like that, or did it seem like some kids were really studying up?
Like dude, some kids were like really on their toes, and then you know, like freaking out, like looking around. And I was just like, oh, it's 3 a.m. Tight, you know, like let's get this started. And like,
it's crazy, man. It's just like, it's so unbelievable to me, like just this like journey you've had over the past few years. Like you were in the States working construction, supporting your family. You moved to Japan, which is crazy in itself. Pandemic. Okay. Now you're a Marine. Like it's just, is there any way to sum it up? Like I don't even know if there's words for it. Could you have ever expected this?
What a comeback story, honestly. Comeback kid,
honestly,
you know?
Honestly, like the attention needs to be drawn to this because that's just like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't really even think about that stuff. I'm just live day to day.
I know that. Yeah.
Comeback kid, 0
just
to 100,
a guy.
You know, just a guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like people might not know that though. I mean, I'm assuming no one really knows that. You're not the type of guy that would go around talking about it.
Oh no, like I don't even think my roommate knows. He doesn't know anything about that. Yeah. Keep it on the down low. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it's really cool. A lot of respect for that, and I'm sure a lot of people recognize that. People who know you and see you accomplishing stuff. So
I appreciate that, Shanon.
For sure. Yeah. So let's talk boot camp though. Let's talk boot camp. You're talking.
Let's definitely talk boot camp.
Yeah, let's go. Let's talk. That's what we're here for.
Oh my god.
Yellow footprints.
yeah,
you don't
yellow
really know what's
footprints,
going on. Yeah.
silver chamber, people screaming in my face. And I was like, okay, this is what's going on. You make your phone call. They say like you get 3 attempts to make your phone call, or you're gonna have to come back, and my mindset was like, I had the same mindset as like Hoppy going in there, which completely bailed after the first couple of days. His mindset was like, keep the head down, don't stand out, don't be the worst recruit, don't be the best recruit, just be in the middle where like they don't know your name. They just like they yell at the group, but you just do it. So like when they said like you get 3, if no one answers, you just got to come back, and no one was answering because it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I just screamed the script that they had into the beeping of the phone. Like, don't.
Who'd you call?
No one. No one.
But you
answered.
didn't.
I called my mom, but like she didn't answer. But so I just screamed into the beep beep. I was like, whatever. Like, she'll figure it out. And
So what is the voicemail? Or are you just like talking to yourself?
I didn't even connect. I think I typed it in wrong. I don't know. And then like
your one phone call.
My one phone call, my mom probably was worried sick, and I just didn't care, like whatever. And then, we get like stuff handed to us, like we're sitting down, we have like a little roll call, and then they're like, all right, everyone stand up, like from my platoon 3053, shout out Kilo Company. We get up, and then we go to the armory. The first thing we get handed is our M16A4 service rifle. Like I go from not knowing anything to having a machine gun in my hand.
was that cool?
Yeah, it was the coolest thing. I thought like it would take forever to get this, but like that's the first thing, and I'm just carrying around my M16. I was like, tight. This is where we're at. Stuff's all right. Stuff's getting real. And then we like sit in the classroom. We get like the whole first day is you just grabbing stuff. You get your green sea bags full of just crap. You get all your camis, your boots, all the stuff you like need for like the first couple of weeks of boot camp.
Yeah.
And then all your gear, your issued gear, like your canteens, like all like the big main pack, all like the sleeping bag and stuff for like stuff you'll need throughout boot camp. So you get like a lot of stuff. You have 2 big green sea bags, you have like the big massive backpack, and then you have your M16. And all that took the entire day because you have 480 kids have to get issued all that stuff.
Yeah. Is it really frantic, like this whole process?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah. Well, it was like, it's a big line because your platoon is like 85 kids. So, it's kind of like wait in line for a lot. A lot of the first day. And like the people who, like the drill instructors there who pick you up, they're not your drill instructors that you have for the whole time because they have like receiving drill instructors. And the first 4 days of boot camp is called receiving, like day 1, or day 2, day 3, day 4 of receiving. Okay. And there's like 2 drill instructors, one that take like the night shift and one the morning shift, and they don't really care. They're just here to like prepare you for boot camp. So they're not like super in your face, and they're not like trying to kill you or anything. They just like their whole job is to set you up for like the drill instructors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, set you up for success.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Are they?
Well, they're just here to set you up. It's your job.
Right.
It's on you if you succeed or not.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So we have like these 2 bags. We have like a big sea bag on our front of our chest, then on the back, and our main pack we have to carry somehow, and then our M16. And they're like, all right, we're gonna go walk some squad bay.
How you carry an M16 with all these things on you?
I don't know how I remember how I carried it. And there's like 84 of us, and like what I pictured about Marines, I was like, I thought it was gonna be like. Hoppy said it was gonna be like it's like sports, like it's like being on a sports team. It's like just a PT and stuff. But I look around and there's just like nothing but like little kids around me. Like what is going on? It's just like weak little things. And we walk from where we staged all of our stuff. We have all these massive things, and they're like, we're gonna walk to the squad bay. And it wasn't that far of a walk, but it wasn't right around the corner either. It was like a 10-minute walk. I mean, there's kids like crying already, just falling out, dropping stuff. We had one kid like somehow land on his face, even though it felt like impossible to land on his face because you have a big, massive green sea bag like this.
Yeah, you would think.
So you would think, but he figured it out. He figured a way to get smacked right on the pavement. Kids crying, and I'm just walking. Like I was just like, oof, what a day.
So if they're falling and crying, like, is anyone like going to like check on them, or is it just like get your ass over there?
Well, like the receiving drill instructor, you fell down, they're just like, get your ass up, come on, let's go.
Oh my god,
and stuff like that. And like the other people would try to help them out, but some people were just like, boot camp's about me. And, like, walked around and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
he's already, he failed boot camp already. Stuff like that.
He's been here for like not even a day.
Yeah, he's out, but like, no, like nothing like that. But and then we get back to like the squad bay. Like, this is all day one still, and we just dump all of our stuff out, like all like the billions of things we got, and we got markers, and they're like, mark all your stuff. And you're like, okay, and that took forever, but people were still doing it wrong. Or like, my least favorite part is people had a billion questions what to do, and that just only pisses people off more. They're like, how do you want us to mark it? Like, do you want our last name, our first name, you want our date of birth or something? They're like, just put your name on your freaking camis. Like, that's all you have to do. Like, with people, and then that took all night, because they were like, as soon as you finish, you get to go to sleep.
Right.
That took all night. Yeah, that was the whole first day of boot camp. It was like, it's not what people think. It's just kind of just getting you ready.
So it's not the worst thing ever, day one.
No, probably not. But you're also talking to the wrong person. Like, you're talking from the high point of the standpoint of boot camp. Like, I love. Gotcha. I would go through boot camp again easily.
Are you serious?
I would start all over again. I loved it. It was my favorite.
Is it so? This is so interesting to me, because I talked to Johnny, and he's like the lay low guy. He's like, I was just trying to get through it, one day at a time. And you're just talking about, like, you're making it seem like it was like a summer camp.
Oh my God! Join the Marine Corps, everyone. It is so fun,
I don't know what the message is.
I don't know, man. It honestly was a summer camp. It was best time of my life.
So when you obviously weren't having the time of your life day one, when did you start realizing, hey, like, this isn't too bad? I'm really starting to get in a groove here.
I didn't start off having, the time of my life. The first couple of days of receiving, getting haircuts, going to medical. That took three days, and then that Saturday, it's supposed to happen on Black Friday. Black Friday is when you meet your drill instructors. Like, they have like the whole meeting. They're like, have like raise their hand, like, I will take care of you or whatever, all that stuff. Oh, and you meet your drill instructors, and they have like this big meeting. We had like 5 of them at first, and we got rid of one of them later. And then they have their whole meeting. They tell us to pick up on them. They go into their little drill instructor house, and they come out, and that's when, like, like, now they're trying to kill you. Like, they're like running around screaming in your face, but they have to make sure they we started off with 84 people. We had to make sure we get all 84 of us, like, screaming in your face, like, You're just like,
how do they scream at 84 people at once?
Oh, they're very gifted people, Like, to become a drill instructor, you have to do drill instructor school, which is just like the same amount of time, 15 weeks at drill instructor. And like, the drill instructor school is at Parris Island, actually. And they have to do, boot camp part 2. But yeah,
which you would do.
100%.
You should just. Is this in your future?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? After I finish killing all that talent, I might just become a drill instructor.
All right.
Yeah, that's when, like, and then stuff kind of happens. You start the whole actual boot camp experience. You're getting in your face, and after that, like, they're doing that for like 3 hours. It's just ripping you, ripping everyone, and people are crying. I'm looking around, people are crying, people are like super stressed out. I'm like a little stressed. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And I, like, after those 3 hours, they're like, go make a head call, and I go to the head, and I was like, that sucked,
Yeah.
Day one, like, training day one. Yeah. But yeah, that was it, and I felt bad. I went to sleep that night, and I was like, well, this is gonna suck, but really. That was like the worst part. That right there, that was the worst part. Like, I guess it's like the initial scaring you. Like, this is boot camp. This is where it starts. But after that, it was whatever.
So what is the purpose of the scaring you, like, so early on like that? Is it just kind of to put you in your place, or?
Yeah, I think it's that initial, like, I'm a freaking staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. You're a recruit. You're nothing. Yeah. You will do what I tell you to do, even if you do the same thing 45 times over and over. Like, take your shirt off, take your shirt on, or put your shirt on. 10-5-1. You didn't make it. Take your shirt back off again. Like, you're 3 hours. It's nothing. But like, it's kind of annoying. But like,
I can imagine,
they do it on purpose. Yeah, but it's just to put you in your spot, learn your place.
But it, like, going through your head, or you're like, well, they're doing this like on purpose. Like, I'm sure they are like really nice people. They probably have like a nice family. He comes from a good background. Drill instructor's a good guy. Yeah.
You, like, if you didn't pick up, a lot of people didn't pick up on it, and this is starting to become become the reason why I love boot camp so much.
Yeah.
Because you just look around, you're like, these people just don't get it. You know, like they have to do this. You know, this is their job. Like, if we have to go to a class at like 10 o'clock and it's like 8 o'clock, you know, we have 2 hours of free time. They're not just, you know, it's boot camp. You're not just going to like chill back, hang in your rack and wait till 10 o'clock in class. You know, they're going to play some games, you know, and you're going to have to play games because you have to do what they tell you to do. But like people didn't get that, you know, like they would make us, we had a thing called bulkhead line, right? I don't know. Describe. How many times do you think we bulkhead line in all of boot camp? Thousands of times. Thousands. Bulkhead
Explain
line.
it.
All right. I don't know, you know, the setup of like your squad bay, there's like a long hallway. It's just a long hallway with like racks on each side. And in the highway, there's like a little highway. It's called Jones Sector Highway, Senior Jones Sector Highway. And there's lines that's where you stand. And it's called, you know, when they say get on line, you just stand on line and stand at attention. Right. And bulkhead is obviously a wall. And so if someone was talking or someone was moving or someone didn't have their heels on the line, they'd say bulkhead line, right? And they'll start counting you down. You have to run, touch the wall, and come back, right? It's super simple, but people just get so pissed off. Yeah. And you just run and leave you like 5 seconds, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? But like you have 2 hours of free time, you know? So like, what are you gonna do for those 2 hours? So they would just make up stuff like, oh, that kid didn't make it, bulkhead line again, you know? And then people would be like, oh, you motherfucker, like, why? It's not that hard, it's so slow. Like that kid made it. Like I saw him, you know, like, he made it, you know. It was like, it's crazy because the people who would yell at the kids who like didn't make it or like didn't do it fast enough, like they would yell at that kid, and then two bulkhead line later, it was his fault, you know? Right. And then the people yell at him, like, I fucking tried. You know, it's just like, and I'm just laughing. You know, like I get the deal. Yeah. That's what you're gonna do. You know, you're just killing time.
Right. So they didn't realize that that's what it was, though. They didn't realize that this is like I don't want to call it a game because it's much more than a game, I'm sure, but it's like you said, killing time, and it's just kind of like asserting a certain position. So that's really interesting.
People still don't get it.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on it, though. I'm not surprised you did. That's great.
Oh my god, it was so fun. Just the people like getting super angry was just the best part. You know, they would laugh, and like I built like a bond with my kill hat. You know, like the most like the dangerous of hats. Like he's the one who like ITs you and stuff. But like I built like a bond with him of like just like he would look at this guy, he would shake his head, and I would look at him and like shake my head, and that was it. You know, like, it was like that. But yeah, that was
what was the bond like between you guys and your squad? And like, I'm assuming there's some tension with the punishments or between like you guys have to do.
Me and the other recruits. Some people like there's like obviously like just like the garbage recruits. You know, they have like their own little group, or like they're like kind of loners. Then you have like you know the people you have like squad leaders and guides. You know, they tell you what to do. They're like little things. And like everyone's like super chill, you know, like we all get each other. Like it's just like it's kind of like that baseball team aspect, you know, like you know, there's always some people you hate, like you get your Downies and your T-Bears and stuff.
Yeah, and then every podcast there's a shot at Downey still, like to this day. There's always got to be one.
It's a tradition, you know. You just gotta film it. You got your Downies and your T-Bears, you get your Gents and your Dogs. Like there's cliques inside the thing, and it's just like. It's like high school all over again, or your high school baseball team, something like that. It's the best way I can put it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what were some of the highlights, like some things that you really remember most clearly, or days that, you know, maybe the best or the worst, just some things that stick out?
Things that stuck out. All right. So there's 6 platoons in a company. Like I was in Kilo Company. There's lead series and follow series, like platoons 3048, 49 and 50, and then 52, 53, 54. You know, there's lead series and follow series, and like there's like 10 like little competitions throughout boot camp that you guys all compete in. You know, there's like initial drill, final drill, there's like shooting and all that stuff. And our platoon didn't win a single freaking thing, you know, like it was one of those platoons, you know. We could have won several things, but like I said, like those Downies and T-Bears, just those garbage.
They're holding you back.
Oh my god! Like, I assume you know what like a CFT is, right? Like the CFT.
Yeah, explain for everyone who might not.
Oh yeah, I forgot. a combat fitness test. So like it's a fitness thing.
Mhm.
Like there's 3 little events you have to do. You have to run a half mile as fast as
Yeah.
you can in boots and utes. It sounds super easy, but running a half mile with big old boots on, you're just like, oh crap, this sucks. Like
Yeah.
you quickly realize how much that's not fun. And then you have ammo cans full of sand. And you have 2 minutes to pump out as much as you can. The goal is 120. That's the perfect score, but of course you can go higher than that. And then the final thing is kind of hard to explain. It's called a maneuver under fire. You have like a whole little course set out with cones. You start laying on the deck, like in a push-up position. It'll say go, and you sprint, like get up and sprint. You run around a cone. You kind of hook it, and then you start low crawling, and you pass another cone. You high crawl, and then you get up and sprint zigzags. And then you have a buddy at the end of the course sitting down with his arms crossed. You have to go up behind him, pick him up, and drag him.
Damn.
The buddy drag him. You have to drag him backwards, and there's another cone. And once you pass that cone, you go to the side, drag him diagonally, and then once you get to that last cone, you put him up and pick him on your shoulders, and then you sprint. Like just sprint with your buddy on your shoulders, and you go back to the start. Once you get to the start, you throw your buddy off. You have to turn around, pick up 2 ammo cans, full of sand. They're freaking heavy. You run again, zigzag. You drop the ammo cans. There's a grenade back at the other end of the course where your buddy was initially. You have to pick it up. There's a box like 30, 40 feet away. You have to throw it, do 5 push-ups, and if the grenade lands in the box, you subtract 5 seconds from your time. If it goes outside the box, you add 5 seconds. But no
Did you
one
get in the
looks,
box, George?
I hit the freaking center. Like there's 4 cones, and there's a cone in the center, and I nailed that center cone. Say something back to me, Shannon.
I'm just asking. You got a good arm. I know. I know you're probably flexing. Yeah.
You got. Oh yeah. Say something.
Yeah, I know.
And then after you have to drop and do 5 push-ups. Like you're not supposed to look, because they want you to like go, and you pick back up the cans, you zigzag back, and you're running. And like it doesn't sound that much.
Oh, it does. It does sound like a lot.
Oh, okay.
It does. Yeah, trust me.
Like after that, And then once you drop, you have to run. You just run to the edge and then just pass the line. Like it takes a while.
Damn. How was your shooting?
Oh, my shooting? I didn't even finish the story. But anyway, that's the CFT, right?
Oh,
and like there's a whole like competition. Sorry, I know the CFT.
No, the competition, please.
And this was the final CFT, so this is kind of far in boot camp. Like I'm just gonna,
right.
I don't really have like a
wherever you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of end of the boot camp, the final CFT, and we woke up wanting to win. Like there was a vibe in the air. Like I feel like we're gonna win something today. So we all go to the CFT. We're all killing it. Right. And then we get back to the squad bay after we're done, and our senior drill instructor was like, you know what? I'm proud of you guys. Like I saw everyone. Y'all look like you were buzzing your ass. And then 15 minutes later, we got the score back. They're like, we finished 2nd place. We're like, what? Right. And then he was like, Recruit Cobb, stand up. Recruit Cobb, stand up. And Recruit Cobb is the biggest downy of the 3053. He stood up. Like I don't want to like say any like harsh words that might offend anyone, but I don't know how he made it through MEPS. I don't know how he made it through the recruiting process without putting him some major red flags of just intelligence or anything like that. Okay. So we got the scores back and we finished 2nd, and all the scores were like super close. They were all within 1 point of each other. That was very typical. But Recruit Cobb, he failed. He failed the CFT, and he dropped our platoon as a whole like 4 points. 4 points. So we blew the CFT out of the water, but since he failed so miserably, we finished 2nd. And he like stood up in front of it, and he was like, "You were the reason we failed." And he got dropped that day. They're like, "We don't want you here anymore." We're like, "Wow," like that was
like
crazy.
Gone.
Yeah, and we were all perfectly fine with it as a platoon. Like we wanted to win something that day, and it was just terrible. And it was very funny how everyone reacted, because like you don't get anything if you win. It's just like bragging rights. But like that guy also, he was the one that pissed on the floor. Oh yeah, he was too scared.
God,
We all
man.
woke up. We all woke up one morning. We were all, he's like, get online. We all stand online. He was too scared to ask. And all of a sudden, you just hear water hitting the deck. And jokes on us, it wasn't water. We all looked over, and he was just making the face. He's like, dang it, and it's just peeing. And then one of the drunk soldiers was like, Cobb, did you just piss yourself? And he's like, sir. It was like, oh my God. And he sends him to the head. He looks at the dude standing next to Cobb, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to clean that up. He's like, no, I'm laughing. It's just one of those times. Oh, that's the story that stands out.
You ever get in trouble for laughing?
All the freaking time. All the time. But
you had to hold that in, George.
Oh, I swear if it wasn't for COVID, I probably wouldn't be coming out here saying I had the most fun in boot camp, because that saves lives,
Oh, you weren't a mask.
They think mask saves you from COVID. No, it saves you from a lot of things at boot camp. I'm laughing my ass off, but you got to learn to laugh here down,
Yeah.
You can't show it in the eyes, but I'm pretty sure I was showing it in the eyes too. Oh, I was laughing the entire time, Shannon. You never find me not laughing.
Damn. So how many people were dropped? I mean, I'm not sure if you can count, but
all right. The thing about 3053 is, most platoons, they went through the whole entire process of keeping the same people that originally was picked up.
Yeah.
They're that's the best way to create a team, is to have the same people from day one to day whatever. Yeah. And some people only dropped 2, 3, 4. 3053 dropped 35 people. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Everyone else combined didn't get anywhere near to 35 people.
And just to be clear, when you say dropped, do you mean sent home? They're...
No, not sent home. When you get dropped, some people got sent home,
happened?
but when you get dropped, if you probably failed something, you failed the CFT,
yeah,
you failed shooting, or you pointed the gun at someone the wrong way, or you just pointed the gun at someone, you did something stupid, so you don't get sent home. You get recycled. So how there's company, there's companies in a weekly basis, a week back was Charlie company. So if you get dropped, you just get dropped 1 week back, and you have to do that thing over again.
Right. But is it only, so if you get dropped, is it only a week, or do you ever go back all the way to the beginning?
Some people get dropped 3 or 4 weeks. It depends on the severity of the situation. Yeah. And we dropped 35 people.
So what does that do to your were you concerned when these people were getting dropped, or were you no, they should probably be gone?
Oh, you just drop it. Don't care. Just go ahead, get out of here. But the thing is, there's people ahead of us, the week ahead of us or 2 weeks ahead of us. They're also getting dropped too.
So there's new people coming into your group.
New people coming in, right? And good people don't get dropped. There's not there's not recruit Glovers, top of the damn field. You know what I'm saying? There's getting dropped, right? So that's a really good reason why we weren't winning anything. Because not only did we still had our little garbage recruits, we were picking up garbage too. Because since we were dropping everyone, we had to pick up all the garbage, and all the other platoons of the company, they had their baseline people.
Gotcha.
Terrible.
That is interesting. And there's no way to move up. You have to do every week. So you're just constantly getting other people's garbage. These are people, by the way. We're calling them garbage. Come on, George. We can have a little bit more.
Some people are still there, and at boot camp, you're not a person. They're still garbage.
That's true. You have to say this recruit, right?
This recruit.
Did it take a little bit to get used to not saying that?
No, I hopped right on it, because one of the best things, when you weren't around the drill instructors, you were always talking, and people would talk about in first person. They're like, wow,
normal people.
Yeah, they would talk about normal people, but I wouldn't let them. No, the people would be like, wow, I really hate this. I'll go, I know it's this recruit. You got to say this recruit. And you're like, I'm not doing that. You're this recruit knows you're gonna do that.
You're that guy.
Yeah, but that's the best part of it, because me and my friends would just, it's mainly a joke. But
I'm sure.
Talk about Barth. Oh my God,
Barth. Please go ahead.
Barth. All right, let me talk about Barth. Barth. I'd be mean.
Oh, it's a person?
It's a person. His name's Barth.
Well, we don't have to keep on trashing on people.
I was trying to move in a more positive direction, but
positive things. Come on, no. I'm sure Barth is a nice guy. What do you say?
there.
The shower?
I still do. I'm pretty sure he's still getting dropped to day one still. Or he's just recycling.
Interesting.
Yeah. He
Did
I'm
you
not
know
gonna
any?
talk about
Did you know anyone who like chose to drop out or they like quit?
it. We had a really bad situation coming range week when we were shooting.
Yeah.
We had one dude who wanted to go home, right? And apparently he didn't want to go home by himself, so he was taking down others with him. And like the thing that immediately gets you dropped is like trying to take live rounds back from the range to the squad bay, you know, because we take our M16s everywhere we go. So like think of how dangerous this situation could be.
Yeah, you
if someone
can.
they took a round out of their pocket and they're like, you know, like started shooting
Yeah.
people and stuff. So that's like an immediate drop because after you're done shooting the day, you put all your stuff down, then they like, you know, they metal detect you and all that stuff. And we had one dude like sneaking rounds, like live rounds into people's shoulder pockets. And like the thing is you never check your shoulder, but you never use them. So like why would you do that? And he snuck rounds into 3 different people's shoulder pockets. And like the range has never seen anything like this. Like like sometimes they catch one person doing it every like month or so, or 2 months. But I have 3 people on 3 consecutive like ranges because like the range is just one long thing you shoot at, and there's just it's numbered, right? And the 3 people were from like tables 27, 28, and 29. You know, so it's like you can obviously tell something fishy was going on, right? So they had nothing to do, but all 3 of those people got dropped immediately. And then the dude, like somehow he got a live round into the squad bay. And he had it in his little footlocker, and he showed 4 other people, right? And then when they found out, like that day where 3 people tried to steal rounds, even though they were.
Yeah, so what they say? I mean, they're getting dropped, and they know they didn't do that. They know that they were
like there's nothing they
obviously
could do. You know, like even though they knew something was fishy going on, like they just couldn't prove it. You know.
Yeah.
So they got dropped 3 weeks. Back to
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. Back to. Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh my god!
And that's not even the worst part. Like that dude who took a bullet and like brought it back to the squad bay. He showed 4 people, and that day where those 3 people had the rounds and the thing, the whole company of Kilo Company, so all 480 people had to get all their stuff like searched through to make sure people didn't have rounds. Yeah. And he found a round in that dude's pocket. And then when they pulled him aside, they're like, why do you have this? And they're like, well, I showed this person, this person, this person, and this person, and they didn't say anything. So all 4 of those people as well got dropped. Plus the dude who stole a round. So 8 people in one day. Keep in mind, people only dropped 4 people the entire boot camp. We lost 8 in like one day.
Damn, bro.
Just because he wanted to go home.
So like if he showed you the round and you like didn't say anything, then you got dropped for that.
Yeah. Because like, you know, like, hey, that's dangerous. Like he could have put the round in the freaking gun and killed someone. Like
what's he showing people for? He's like, hey guys, you want to see a bullet?
Like, yeah, I don't know why he showed that. Dude. I think because he wanted to go home. So like he wanted someone to snitch on him. But then someone snitched on him. Did
he go home or he just got dropped a few weeks?
He's going home. Like it takes a while to get sent home. It's paperwork and all that stuff. So he's still there. He just lives in a room all day. Damn, that's so crazy.
That's crazy that he's like still kept around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you didn't tell me about your shooting. I want to hear about your shooting because
shooting.
Johnny had some fun stories with shooting. Yeah, so please tell me how did it go for you?
Fun. Okay, so as Hoppy said, like Mr. Johnny Hoppy, he said he's like never shot before, right?
Yeah.
And like some people were really worried about shooting because like if you don't qualify, you get dropped and have to reshoot. You know, and I've never shot before, so I was a little worried, but you can't show being worried. You know, you're a freaking Marine in training. You gotta be hot shit about it. Right? And then so like the first week of like range week is called grass week, where you just learn the basics of the rifle, all that stuff, you know, what you're gonna be doing, and you spend a whole week just like snapping, like you're just laying in the grass week, you know, just like aiming on a barrel, you know, and you have to like dry fire, you know, like all that stuff is like
you're not even shooting. Yeah,
you're not even shooting yet. Like and then the next week that's when you start shooting, you know. And holy crap, I'm pretty good at shooting, Shannon. I should have. Oh my! If maybe Marines could count. Like, see, you shoot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's just practice. You pre-qual on Thursday and qualify on Friday, right? And then Friday came around, and I was feeling good. I shot amazing, and then they do up my score, right? And you know, it was really good. I was the highest in table 1, but shooting is table 1 and table 2. Table 2 is more they move the targets, or you get super close to the target, but it's more combat related. So you're just like, you have the gun down and you're like, bang, bang, you know, all that stuff, you know, like kind of stuff like that. And that's table 2. And they combine the 2 scores. And then they combine the 2 scores. And I knew my score because there's a coach for every 4 shooters. And I'm keeping, and you keep track of your own score as well. And then I keep track of my score, and I was like, holy crap, like I nailed this. I shot a 329, you know, and the max score is 350.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we come around, and senior drill sergeant a couple days later, like, he tells us everyone their score, right? And he said I shot a 319, right? I'm like, you know, someone didn't carry the 1. So I lost top shooter in my platoon, and top shooter gets freaking promoted. So I lost the promotion out of that, you know.
So there's nothing you can say.
Nothing I could say. I even told him, like, hey, I think they didn't carry the 1, you know. And they're like, hey, yeah, it happens all the time. Nothing I can do. I was like, cool, thank you. As I was, you know.
Damn, but that's so crazy how, like, you can have evidence, or like how no one believes you, pretty much. Like,
no one. You're just a garbage recruit.
Just the precedent is you're a liar, and I just find that really amusing. But,
don't care, you know, just whatever. Yeah. But I know what I shot, and I shot high. So
yeah, I know. I believe you.
Oh yeah.
We all know. We all believe you.
Everyone.
Someone didn't carry the 1.
Someone didn't carry the 1. It was stupid. Freaking.
Is it 319 still good, right?
Yeah, it's still expert.
Yeah. So yeah. Really so why would you like lie about like being only a little bit more expert? Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Exactly. Interesting. I don't know why no one else there could reason with that. But seems like it turns out.
The main reason my senior drill sergeant didn't care is because if you shot expert in table 1 and table 2, you earned a phone call home. You know, so you get to call your mom.
Oh.
You get a 2-minute phone call, and like, you know, to earn that. And when I told him, like, hey, my score's wrong, he's like, why do you care? You know, you still get a phone call home. I was like, yeah, but you know, come on, give me the top shooter. Yeah, that's whatever. Damn,
did you get the phone call that time? Did you go through?
I did get my phone call.
That was good. Was that your first phone call home?
That was my first. Yeah.
Damn. How many weeks in was this?
Table 2. It was like the beginning of the last month of boot camp.
Oh my god! And that's the first time you had talked to. You called your mom?
Oh yeah. You get like a 2-minute, 1-minute phone call, something like that. You get to call your mom. But I didn't get to do it. My mom was talking the whole freaking time. I didn't get to say anything. You know? She was just talking away. I'm trying to tell her I'm fine. How, like, I can't. I'm trying to tell her how boot camp is, and she's just yapping. You know, like, I was like, okay, I gotta go, mom. I love you. Because the dude's like, you know, time. I'm like, yeah. I got you.
Mom taking up your whole 2 minutes.
Oh yeah. I think my mom kind of saved me on that point, because one of, like, my best friend, and, like, you know, because you do everything in boot camp together. Like, this one of these kids that I did literally everything with. Like, I didn't want to say we slept together, but like we slept in like racks next to each other. We like woke up. We
slept together. No worries.
Yeah, no worries. We did everything together. And you know, he got a phone call because he got we did the initial PFT, which you do like a couple weeks in, and he got a perfect score. You know, and since he got a perfect score and the highest in the zone, he earned a phone call home. And him and I had the same mindset in boot camp. You know, like, this place is awesome. Like, we love this place. Right? So he got a phone call home, and he was talking to his girl, and he was like, "Hey, baby, you know, I'm doing fine. I'm having so much fun at boot camp, you know." And the thing is, like, you call your parents or your mom on speakerphone, and you do it in the building where all the drill instructors are. So
yeah,
they heard all of this.
So they're listening to this guy glorifying boot camp and talking to his girl.
Oh yeah. Right. So he hangs up the phone, and after he's like, I'm having so much fun at boot camp. You know, I'm having fun at boot camp. And you know, he hangs up the phone, and the instructor's like, "So you're having fun at boot camp, huh?" And, you know, and he's like, "No, sir, no, sir." And then he's like, get out of my face. And he's like, sir, he gets out. And then our kill hat comes out and he's like, Antanasio. And he's like, sir. And he's like, come up here. And he got IT'd for like a while, and our senior drill instructor was just sitting right by the door, like just staring at him, watching him get like, doing push-ups and all the IT fun stuff. And he was like 2 weeks of every day, hour on hour, just like getting destroyed.
Are you kidding me? Because he said boot camp was fun?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
And he still had fun, because you come over, he would finish his IT, he would wait till like all the general instructors behind him, look at me and smile.
I mean, I feel like at a certain point, like I can understand the people who like are really stressed out and think it sucks, but I think you have to laugh just at like the way you're being treated. You're like, it doesn't even seem real.
Oh, it doesn't. It's so funny. I love every moment of it.
That's hilarious. You had some swimming, right, as well?
Oh yeah, love swimming.
Yeah, how was your swimming, George?
Also,
expert.
There's no qualification.
There's no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But if there was,
number one in the platoon. Fastest in the company. Fastest.
All those Michael Phelps warm-ups, right?
All those Michael Phelps. Oh yeah. Hey, I was, yeah. We swim. You're supposed to. They're like changing all the boot camp, so we had a really messed up schedule. It's called swim week, but it was swim day. Apparently, they bunched it all up into one day.
Are they getting rid of swim week?
Well, no, they're just briefing. Like, you only need to swim a length of a pool, like not like even the full length, like the skinny length, and camis and boots, and we had like half the entire company fail that, so they failed, and then you have to jump off, like not like a diving board, but it's kind of like a thing. It's like 10 feet up, you jump and you swim across again, and then you float for like 4 minutes, and you're qualified for swim. That's all you had to do. But for the people who failed, yeah, that was swim week for them because they had to redo it twice a day for a week. And people could not swim. But swim week isn't that big of a deal.
It's not.
No.
That I just find it so interesting how if you get it right on the first try, like you are rewarded so heavily for that. Like if you just don't mess it up on the initial attempt, that's pretty interesting. Meanwhile, everyone else,
I failed the first day.
The first day of swim?
Oh yeah, I failed the initial qualification. Not because I didn't know how to swim, it's because I was so excited to swim. I'm like, finally, I'm so excited to do this, and like everything is super strict. They're like, you do what I tell you to do. Like there was swim instructors, and like it was a bit. I thought it was gonna be more relaxed than like drill instructors. Like your swim instructors. You thought it was
gonna be relaxed? What are you talking about, bro?
You're wearing like compression shorts and like with like booty shorts on top of it, and you're wearing Crocs. Like I'm not gonna let someone yell at me wearing Crocs, which like there's no freaking way, And they're like, you swim when I tell you to swim. I was like, sir, who's this guy? And I get in the water, or they tell you to get in the water because you stand at the edge of the pool and like, all right, get in the water. So I get in the water, I start swimming, right? And he points at me, he's like, get out, you failed. And I was like, I didn't fail. Like, there's no way. Because if you touch the bottom or you touch anyone else, like you fail. And I get out of the water, I was like, what happened? And he's like, I'm supposed to tell you when to swim, And I was like, wow.
So you got in and started swimming.
And you're supposed to wait. You're supposed to wait at the wall. Oh. But I didn't wait because I was just so excited to swim,
Was it a beautiful day for swimming too? Was it just like...
It was an indoor pool, So
indoor.
It was just splashing around with your boys, So. We all remember that. We all remember that pool in Thailand, Like it was...
in the hotel?
Oh, yeah. It was like that.
Interesting. I
almost lost my job because of that. My MOS.
What do you mean?
For my MOS, after you swim, a couple weeks later they'll take you to swim called Plus, which is a more advanced qualification of swimming, right? But since I failed, they call you what's called an iron duck, So like since you swim,
that's not fair. You do know how to swim. You just swam. You were too excited to swim.
I can swim very. I told him that.
I'm starting to think I'm one of the people who'd get bothered by these things. Like I would take it personally. Like I'm starting to get it. Like just hearing about it. No. I don't think I would at all. I don't think I would at all. They call me an iron duck. I'm like, no. I knew how to swim. You just didn't want to see me swimming. Okay.
Oh my.
You didn't say that, of course, because you know what's going on.
I know what's going on. I know.
What happened?
Sometimes
Iron
time
Duck.
and place, Shannon. Oh yeah,
Iron Duck, George.
Duck.
Can't
And it's
swim for
crazy because
shit.
I talked a lot of crap before swimming. You know, that's when
Of
that's why I
course
was
you
so
did.
excited.
Naturally.
They were like, "Oh, you're gonna fail." And I was like, "Dude, I was a damn lifeguard in Okinawa. You know, like, I ain't failing. I taught little kids how to swim." And then I came back, and we got sent back like an hour before everyone else. So all our drill instructors are there, right? And the person I was talking the most crap to was my kill hat. You know, he's like, "You're gonna fail. You know, all y'all gonna fail. All y'all gonna be Iron Ducks." And I was like, "Hey, it ain't. I promise it ain't me. You know, it ain't gonna be me." And then I come back, I'm the first one in the door. I'm all wet. And like, since you're an Iron Duck, they had to like separate you from everyone else. So what you had to do, you had to take your blouse, flip it inside out, and put it in. So like, it's oh no. Oh, come on. Not in front of the Shannon, sir. Oh,
No.
embarrassing myself on the Shannon. So you're like wearing a blouse inside out, so it looks like just like this. It's really retarded looking.
Because you have
Okay,
to show everyone how poor of a swimmer you are.
Yeah, you're an Iron Duck. Right?
Are you trying to like do you try to like explain yourself to everyone? You're like, guys, wait, no, it's not what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course
You
you
know?
do. Of course.
I mean, it was kind of cool because I didn't care as much because all my friends apparently couldn't swim. So I got sent back with them. But as soon as I walk into this spa day, that kill hat's right there. And he's like, I knew it. And I was like, no. It's like, I promise I can swim. But since I was an Iron Duck, I wasn't able to go to a swim call plus like qualification. So the last couple of days of boot camp, after, you know, did the crucible and all that stuff, graduated, and they're like, all right, you need to be reclassed for your MOS. I was like, no, why? Like, they're like, you need to have the swim ball plus. I was like, I was never invited to do that. You know, they're like, oh, well, you're a duck. You know, it's like, oh, I need to fix this right now because like now, because before it wasn't a problem, but like now it's a problem. And like, I came up to the dude, and like the thing about the Marine Corps, if you're like, hey, where are you from? You know, and like I always said I was from Okinawa because I kind of shipped from Okinawa. But like when since like COVID happened, I had to fly to Virginia just to ship to Okinawa and stuff. So I always said from Okinawa, and then everyone, you know, apparently everyone's been to Okinawa. So you go up and you talk to a person, and they're like, "Oh, you're in Okinawa?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Where were you?" And, you know, I was like, "Oh, Camp Courtney." He's like, "What building are you?" I was like, "Oh crap," you know, like, "Oh, you know, doors are opening, you know, opportunities are forming." And they're like, "Oh, we were neighbors." And I was like, "Yo, that's no freaking way," you know, like, you know, all this stuff. And they're like, "You know what? You're gonna swim." And I was like, "You're gonna re-swim." I was like, "That's what I'm talking about," you know.
Good job, George.
I get to show my abilities to swim and all that stuff.
So you showed them next time? Did you get in the water and wait?
No, I still got yelled at for that. I forgot. I was too excited, Shannon.
You did it again? You did it twice?
Yeah, but they didn't kick me out. They didn't kick me out that time. There was only 4 of us. They were much more lenient, you know.
Incredibly disappointing.
So excited. I thought like maybe there's only 4 of us. They can keep track of 4 of us. Maybe I don't have to wait, you know. I have to wait, you know.
Splashing around with my 4 boys.
Yeah. Splashing around with the boys, bro. Splashing around.
All right. Damn. So got shooting, swimming. Is there anything else big before we get to the crucible?
The crucible. Shooting, swimming, all that stuff. Drill. You want to talk about drill?
Yes, please.
Drill.
Go ahead.
I freaking love drill, you know.
Whoa, really? I feel like you wouldn't be a drill guy.
I didn't think I would, right? You know, all that like marching, you know. But then when we started doing it, they were like, I feel like I was like brainwashed into like thinking like I look so sexy right now, right? I think I was brainwashed into thinking that every time I was thinking like, you know, driving my heels around because my senior drill instructor, he was like, "Y'all look so fucking good right now," or something like that, you know, like something like that. And I, you know, so I like put my heart and soul to it. And you have the initial drill, like where you have like a little card and you do all your movements, and you have final drill. We came in 3rd for initial drill, and I put my heart and soul to it. And then we drill every day. Like you don't just walk places, you know, you march, you know. Right. Yeah. And then we had final drill. I put a lot of practice into it. You know, I'm like the one dude, they always say stand tall, lean back, right? And I'm standing the tallest and I'm leaning the farthest back, you know, like
just to be like that.
Sometimes it was a bit belligerently, but like, hey, you know, you gotta have fun at boot camp. And yeah, and then we woke up and final drill morning, like this is the main event. Like out of all the competitions, like everyone cares about final drills, like,
Right.
that's where you put your balls on the table and you're like, let's go,
Let's march, boys.
let's march. We had like a big hype, and like the one thing you're not like, energy drinks are like a no. Like you can't like get energy, you can't get anything in boot camp, anything, but like he bought like a pack of, I don't know if you know what Rippets are. You know what Rippets are?
No, wait, what's Rip It?
Rippets are just like monsters, like, but they're just Rippets. He bought a pack of Rippets out, and we all had a little cup, and he poured us like half a cup of Rippet, and and he's like, "This is the blood of the drill gods," like.
What the fuck?
He tried to hype us out because like if you're hyping, if you're confident, you're gonna do well. And so we were all feeling like, oh yeah, like, yeah, we did like that, 53 on 3, like let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were all getting hyped, right? So we're all hyped, and we get through with our turn, we go up there, we start drilling. We get like halfway through, we were like, we're killing it. I'm like, maybe we might win something, because final drill is the last competition, and because it's the day before the crucible. So it's the last competition, and like we're halfway through our drill card, we're killing it, and the thing with the drill card, like half of it is precision movement. You're standing in your like little formation, and you're like doing the M16 stuff all as like all together,
Right.
And then the other half of the card is marching. We went through the whole precision movement. We killed it. Like the gun show is what we call it, and then we start marching. I'm like, there's no way we missed this. Like, this is the easy part, right? And there's a couple moves when it comes to marching. There's there's like half step, half step, and then you all that stuff.
Okay.
Or there's like left flank, right flank, where you like they'll be like by the left flank and march, and then everyone turns to the left. It looks pretty cool.
It looks cool.
Sexy, Shannon.
Okay.
You look sexy, Shannon. And then there's to the rear, right? And you hit to the rear. Everyone just like you chop, twist, reach, and everyone just starts moving backwards. Right. And there's a thing called like left of blacks. Left of blacks are just, they're not by the left flanks, they're not columns where everyone it's like a bus. You turn it. It's just like everyone takes like a 45-degree angle. You move into the side, right?
Okay.
Right. And our senior drill instructor were marching. We did the flanks. We did all the other stuff perfectly. I'm like, we're freaking winning this. There's no way
chilling,
we missed this. Yeah, we're chilling, right? And then I heard drill instructor is like, left oblique, and he says march, right? And all I see is like the first like 6 families or something, because like there's like our formation is 4 people wide, and then however many people long it has to be, and every person along is a family, is what we call it, right? So like, and we hear left oblique, right? And everyone around me is doing that 45 degrees to the left, right? But I don't look up, I just see faces walking back towards me on, where they're
not what should be happening.
No, the first 6 families, they thought they heard to the rear, so they're all marching this way now, and we're marching this way, and that's when I gave up. I was like, we're not winning anything.
So you guys are like running into each other now. If they're turning back around and you're going 45 degrees.
There's no like fixing that. You can't like sexually like form up back. You're just like, oh shit, and you just
scramble back.
I'm like, oh no, we lost. We finished. I don't know when we finished. I didn't even care.
Oh my god.
Like,
so whenever you're drilling, like, does it take a lot of focus, or are you just like a robot, you're just on autopilot?
I don't know. It doesn't take much,
Oh no,
it's just like it's like you're in the game set. You put yourself in a like sports mentality. Of like you know what you have to do if the balls hit towards you.
Yeah, that's just what you do.
It's just kind of like that mindset. But like if you're down 20-0 and people start marching the wrong direction, that's when you're just like, it's whatever. You don't care anymore. We lost anyway. It's kind of like that.
Damn, bro. All right. So as you're gearing, you said that was the day before the crucible.
Yes. Oh, I got one more story. One more story.
Go ahead.
When we get to the big crucible, right?
The big crucible.
It's the week. It's the final week before the crucible. It's called BWT. basic warrior training. Sounds cool.
Mhm.
It's 4 day. It's a 4 day thing. It's where you go out and like that's where you like start actually doing stuff. Like you sleep outside. Like we've never slept outside before. It's broken up into 2 days of 2 different activities. The day 1 and 2 is land navigation. Where
Okay.
they give you a map, they give you a compass, they give
Oh, it's
you
like a scavenger hunt.
oh, kind of, yeah, so like that, super fun. You do it in the day, practice, and then you do it at night as like practice, and then you do it like you qualify. You qualify scavenger hunt and stuff like that.
Wonderful.
Wonderful, right? And I got 2 stories for the 2 different activities.
Okay.
The land nav is supposed to be a solo event. Like you do it by yourself, and if you do it with anyone, it's like considered cheating or an integrity violation.
Okay.
But I didn't care. I'm here for the boys. I'm here to have fun. Boot camp, whatever. So me and, as previously mentioned before, Antonio, we were just chilling. We were going through the night land nav together, right? We did his card, and we were going to do my card, right? And like, what's crazy about land nav is like they just send you into the woods like 5 hours, unattended. This is the first time you're left unattended to do anything, and like the practice earlier before, they gave us like 6 hours to find 4 things into the woods with your little compass. And like when you're done, you're supposed to come out and go back in formation and continue to get screamed at all day. I didn't want to do that, so I'm just gonna chill in the
You
woods
gonna
for a
embrace
bit.
your woods time?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a nap on this log, and then I'm gonna go back when I need to, because they have like a loud horn, and then that's when they're done, right? And we were at night, and we ran through our like little scavenger hunt really quick. So we were chilling, right? But there's a thing about the land nav course, like the night land nav course, like that no one told us, right? And that's that our drill instructors dressed up as recruits, So as recruits, we had like our little M16s like strapped to our back.
Yeah.
We were walking around with like little red flashlights and like super bright, like with a red lens, and they were just walking around, right? And like recruits are kind of like annoying to each other because like they act like drill instructors when drill instructors aren't around, like, to like make fun. They're like hey you, like where's your fucking buddy or whatever, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. But like the faces on some of those kids. Oh no, the faces on. I gotta stop being so exaggerated.
You good?
Anyway, the faces on some of those kids when they were like, hey you freaking retard or whatever. Like
Yeah.
your M16 is supposed to like face down, not up or whatever. And then we look up and there's drill instructor. Like oh no, it's so strange. Anyway, yeah, but me and Nancy, we blew through our cards, and we were just walking around. We were looking for our third musketeer, our third amigo, because there's all 3 of us and everything. Like his name was Say, so we were just walking around like Say, just screaming out loud, and we scream. We walk up to one of like the scavenger hunt points or whatever. There's a bunch of people gathered around, right? And so we're like, hey, has anyone seen Say? And they're like, no. And then they start. Right when we start walking away, they're like, hey, is this like point B or whatever, right? And our senior drill instructor, who I want to like mention right now, is the scariest person on that island. People say like, hey.
Hands down?
I thought it, hands down easily. He's Cuban. He's, oh my God. I don't even know how to describe it. People like say he's scary, and they're like, oh, everyone probably says their drill instructor is scary, right? So we had officers, other drill instructors, like just random drill instructors who like came from like wherever, like saying like, you guys got unlucky, like this is the scariest dude on the island. And I ain't gonna lie, he freaking was, he was the scariest dude. And he decided it was his turn to dress up as a recruit and walk through the woods at night, So when he heard someone like, hey, is this point B, instantly cheating, like someone was cheating, and he's very, what's the word? He doesn't like cheaters, like
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. So he ran up to him, and as soon as we heard his voice, like he's a very distinct voice, like I don't want to like be like racist or Semitic or whatever, like, but he sounds like you ever heard like old videos of like Hitler like yelling, whatever?
Oh, great. Yeah.
Sounds like that, just like that, like whatever you picture in your brain, he sounds like that, he sounds like that. So we heard his voice, and we instantly just, run and disappear into the dark, we were like,
You ran away from him?
Oh yeah, because there's a bunch of us. No, we can get away with that, you know. Like most people like sit around, they're like, no sir, no sir. If me and my buddy, you know, we're like, he's not gonna chase us, you know. So we took a gamble and we ran away. We're like, whatever, right? And then we like walk and we're like, oh, we're tired, you know, we just ran to the woods and stuff. So we like set our like M16s down. We're like just laying on a log, looking up at the stars, just like, you know, stuff you do with the boys, you know.
Yeah, just the night out with the boys.
Oh, just the night out with the boy.
I mean, this must be incredible because you haven't had something like this like in a while. Like it's been weeks.
It is an entirely different feeling of like what I've been feeling. And so we were chilling in the woods, just talking, and we were like keeping, in case, you know, Senior Jones started to on the car that was walking around. You know, the scary Cuban that sounds like Hitler. We were walking around, we were walking quiet, and we hear this dude like, "Hey, you guys better get up! Senior Jones Sergeant Staff Sergeant McCarthy is out here walking around looking for like dressed up as a recruit," and all you hear is like he's like 10 feet away, you know. But what you hear is like 12 feet away. He's like, "Oh, you want to tell him that I'm here?" We're like, "Oh like, we start sprinting again into the woods, you know." Like it felt like Slender Man. Like,
this sounds like a horror story. I was just about to say that.
We picked like any direction to go, but he just kept following us direct. Probably because we were haul assing through the woods, you know. Like it's very easily heard. We're just like, "Oh crap!" We're all laughing, screaming. Like we're not screaming. We're like, you know, like, crap! He's following us. Yeah, that happened like 2 more times or whatever. Like we just kept hearing like him just grabbing kids, you know, like for doing stupid stuff. But we got out of that, and it was crazy. At the end of that night, we got back into our little place where we were sleeping, and he stood in front of our platoon, and he was like, "Guys, I just want to like let you know that I'm very proud." Like I caught a lot of people doing a lot of stuff they weren't supposed to, and none of them were from this platoon. And me and my buddy
were running from him all night.
Me and my buddy looked at each other. We were just like smiling crazy. We're like, "Oh, he doesn't know, you know, he doesn't know it was us." It was a perfect night, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that must have been so much fun.
Right.
That's a great story.
The second part of the OT is where you get down and dirty, literally, you know. But the last night at Landaf, we went to bed and we were gonna go do the movement course, the day movement course, the obstacle stuff and all that. But that night, we had a massive like hurricane, you know, and we weren't sleeping like outside. We were sleeping in like a little hut. You know, like with no doors, no nothing. It was just kind of like a little roof over our head. Yeah. And I don't know why they didn't evacuate us or anything, because like
there's a hurricane and they let you guys stay in the hut.
Yeah, we just stayed in the hut all night. And
Parris Island's like right on the water.
Yeah, it's a swamp. Like it's a swamp, and like you could hear trees just like falling down. Like we could have easily died that night. Like a tree could have just landed on our little like. It's like. Just like I don't remember like what the walls, like little cement walls, but like a sheet metal roof, you know, like it's not gonna stop a big old tree falling down and landing on like 20 recruits' heads. Yeah. Anyway, they kept us there, but it was like the whole place was completely swampier than normal, you know. And so what we were supposed to do that day is like the movement course. They teach us all like the training and stuff, but there's a thing called the day movement course. Okay. The day movement course is like the obstacle course where you're walking around. I don't want to say obstacle course. It's kind of just like low. Just picture like crawling in the mud a lot, you know. Oh, and it was mud, terrible. But it was like thick mud because it was just like raining. So it gets like in everywhere, and you have to like carry it with you because like it sticks in. Like you're wearing like a little belt with all your ammo pouches and stuff, so that all fills up with mud. And I'm gonna just like run through the course real quick so everyone can understand. So like there's like a little pipe, like a little drain, like a storm pipe where you can like walk through like crouched. And you're supposed to like you're like pretending like you're clearing it for like IEDs and stuff. Yeah? So you're like in the pipe, you like put your hand around and you're like, okay, clear. And you walk up and there's like a little low wall. You have to like look over the wall without like looking over the wall in case like someone's behind you with a gun. So you like do that, and you're like clear. You step over the wall and there's a big wall, and you and a buddy like put your back on the wall and like put your hand on the wall and make sure there's no booby traps on top of the wall, do all that stuff. And then once you clear the wall, you have to walk through barbed wire.
Walk through barbed wire?
Where you have to like, you know, like step through, make sure you're not cutting it. It's like a little grid. It's not like a pile of barbed wire.
Okay.
Like you see
I didn't know.
Stuff. Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to describe. And then you go do that another wall thing, a high wall, and you walk over that, and then you're in mud. Like you're in mud, and they're like, get on your face, you know. And so you're like on your face, and you start like crawling, like you have like you're on your like elbows and knees with your hips down, of course, because if your hips are down, they're gonna make you. If your hips are not down, they're gonna make you go back and start again. I don't want to go back and start again. That sucks.
So your hips are down.
Yeah, hips are down, and you have like your rifle across your arms like this, and you're just like, you know, doing this through like some thick old mud. And you go up, you like crouch down, you do another high wall, and then you clear that, and then you know get on your face again, and like this time you're like even lower crawling. So like you have your whole like body on the down, and you have like you're grabbing your rifle by like the sling, like facing this way, and you're like. It's called sweep, sweep, pull, Shannon. You'll never I will never forget this, right? So like you're holding your rifle and you like have like a like your not bulletproof, but like your Kevlar helmet.
Yeah.
Right? And you like sweep to the left, sweep to the right, and you go back forward and pull your whole body, you know.
With one arm.
With one arm through
the mud.
Through the mud, right? Not fun, Shannon, you know?
No.
But
I'm out.
And it's a little farther than you think. You know, you do it like 100 times, and you're not supposed to look up because like you're like they're acting like there's bullets flying past your head and stuff.
Yeah.
And but like you sneak a little peek, you're like, how much farther you have to go? And, like you do it like 100 times, like you're feeling you're gonna die or stuff. You look up and you're like, oh, cool, I'm like a quarter of the way there. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be making a lot of ground, like just pulling your body up like that. It's like,
yo, you making no ground. You know.
Yeah, you're like a foot tops.
Oh my god, it's so horrible. And like, and then after that, like you get to the edge and you do a thing called buddy rushing. After that, buddy rushing is like you do the whole course with a fire team. A fire team is just 4 people. Mm-hmm. And buddy rushing is like you lay on the ground and like they're pretending there's an enemy ahead of you, right? And you're trying to rush towards the enemy, but you can't just stand up and just run and gun. You know, you have to do it tactically. So buddy rushing is 2 people get up while the other 2 are suppressing fire. They get up, they scream a little ditty, or they scream, "I'm up! They see me! I'm down!" You know, you drop down to the ground, and then you're doing that, and then they start shooting, and then the other 2 break that. So it's a very quick process of like people getting up and getting down in like sections, right? It like sounds easy, but it's not. You know, like,
it doesn't sound easy. You're good.
It doesn't sound easy. Yeah. So you have to do that, right? And then you run to the edge, and then that's the end of the course. You know.
Yeah.
And what he told us before the course, he's like, hey, if you do it right, and they always said, you get out what you put in, you know? And then if you do it right, we won't make you do it again. I took that to heart. You know, I was like, we're going to freaking do this. I believed him. And like, the thing is, I think I would have got away with only doing it once, you know, if I wasn't overly sarcastic.
Oh no! How can you be doing such a task and be sarcastic at the same time?
Okay, so all right, we went through the pipe stuff. We crossed the barbed wire. We cleared the wall, the whole thing, and I'm screaming like the whole time, like we're like in actual war. So I'm like, like I'm having fun with it too, and I'm like screaming like, and we do all that stuff. And then we get to the mud part, right? And like, but I'm in the war zone mindset, like we're in war, right? But I'm having fun. I'm trying to have my fun too. So I'm putting like 110% sarcastic energy into this freaking movement course, right? And so like, after you clear the wall, you get down in the mud, right?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be way faster if I just, dove into the mud, just like off the wall. So I like dove into the mud, and like there's not drill instructors there. There's like combat instructors there. Like there's always like instructor for like whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, there's like shooting instructors and like swim instructors for all that stuff, right? But there were combat instructors for BWT. And they were pointing it out. They were pointing me like, oh snap! And then my kill hat. He's like, now we're training. Like I see you go like now we're training. We're doing this, and I have my fire team, and like you're supposed to stay with your fire team the whole time. So I was like,
yeah,
come on, let's go. Like, we're doing it. We're like high crawling through the mud, right? And then they were like, hey kid, like where are you from, right? I was like, oh, now. And they're like, oh, he's a military brat, right? Like, what's your dad? Like, is it your dad? I was like, yes, sir. And they're like, who is he retired? I'm like, no, he's active duty, sir. He's like, what rank is he? He's like, master sergeant. And they're like, oh, he's master sergeant kid, right? You know what? I think I have to see that one more time. So they sent me back, not just me and my fire team, right? And then the whole thing is like I didn't want to feel defeated. I didn't want them to win, you know?
Right. So you did the
So
whole thing again?
with 110% sarcastic energy. So
That
I
is
was like, you know what?
fantastic.
It's just one more time, you know? It's just one more time. I'll just do it. Right.
You
And
go
they're like, you
back.
know what? You know, you're a master sergeant, so you probably do it pretty fast, right? So I'm doing a high crawl, right? And they're counting me down. They're like, you have 60 seconds to get over here, right? I'm like, I think that's possible, right? So it's in the mud. I'm just like, pop, 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 pop. And like, you know, I'm just like flying up there, and I'm like starting to feel it, you know, but I can't let them win. You know,
Mhm.
I gotta make sure that I will get out on top of this.
This
Right?
is just like you're balancing. You can't let them win, and also I gotta have my fun. It's just a really hard thing to balance. So I really
Hard
appreciate
balance.
you trying to take it on.
And on top of all that, I'm putting my body in like the absolute limit because
Right,
like you're pulling
the
like
only
60
one.
pounds of mud.
You're the like it's just you going through this. Like they're just standing there watching, but you have to have your fun because you're trying to
Oh
make the
yeah.
most out of it. Okay.
Oh yeah. And then the thing is with the low crawl, you have to stay aligned with your fire team, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about this minor detail, right? So I'm like, bah, 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 you know, like low crawling and stuff, and I get to the wall, and they're like, "Where's your fire team, Glover?" And I look around, I'm like, "They're back there, sir." And they're like, "Are you supposed to be back there?" And I was like, "No, sir." You know, and they're like, "All right, tight. All of you get back up and go do it again." You know, and I'm like, "Okay, all right. This is, you know." And then I'm like, I can't let them win. I can't let them win. So I get to the end and I dive back into the mud, you know. And then my fire team started looking at me, and they're like, relax, you know, like
Yeah, at this point, like they're starting to get a little bit like
they're starting to get
speaking.
annoyed. They're getting annoyed. Anyway, I didn't stop. I did that low crawl thing like maybe 10 times. Still with all the energy, you know. At one point they were counting all of us down, and we didn't make that time because I have to stay aligned with my fire team.
Mhm.
And instead of like waiting for them to say, "All right, you didn't make it," like get up and go back. When they hit 0, I just immediately got up and started walking back, right? But apparently they were gonna let us go. You know, they were gonna let us move on to the different thing. But since I
Yeah.
stood up and walked back, they're like, "Tight, he
Oh,
wants to
go
do
ahead.
it again. Go ahead and go back." And everyone's like, "What the fuck?" You know, I was like, I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm starting laughing, and all the combat just see me laughing. And they're like, "Oh, okay, Joker." You know, like we have a Joker over here. And I'm like, "Oh, I have a nickname. That's not good," you know. And then we do it one last time. I'm like dying in the body, right? But I can't show it. You know, I can't let them win.
Can't let them win.
Can't let them win. And then we do the low crawl. You know, the sweep pull. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I just wish I just shut up. You know, I wish I would. It was fun, but like, right, it killed me. I did that like maybe 6 or 7 times, pulling my happy ass through that mud. They're all making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, you took an extra pull, Joker. Get your whole fire team and get back up." I'm like, all right, man. And we did that, and then we did buddy rushing, but we did the buddy rushing like a couple times. You know, everyone went through like beside us. We were like the only ones like doing it over and over and over again. You know, I mean, there's a couple of people out there, but like we got the brunt of it. You know, because my whole point is if I do it
Because
seriously,
of your
I'm
Joker
only do
ass,
it once. Yeah, if I do it seriously, I'm only gonna do it once. I did it like probably more than anyone else. But yeah, that was it. And like I couldn't let them just like show that I was defeated, so I'm like hitting my tall, and then there's like a little walkway out, and there's like a little path through the tree to get to the main road. Right, I like walk out in that little path. I was just like, I like collapsed, dude. I was like, I'm like dead. There's just like my body like can't move right now, and I was like, frick, I had to get up, you know, go to the freaking next thing. And then we just sat there. We ate dinner chow, and they're like, "Okay, cool. That movement course you guys just did, we're gonna go do it a couple more times at night now." Like, oh,
they took you back out
at night. It was really cool because they were like shooting flares out, and it was like bright, and they would scream flare, and you have to stop moving, like freeze in the mud. Right, we did it one full time. I was being a little sarcastic, but a little less because I think I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
And then we finished. We walked out that tree line again, and they're like, "You guys did it?" We're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Cool. Go back to the front of the line." You know, everyone had to do it twice. You know, it was rough. But I loved every moment of it. I just didn't learn.
That's so cool though that like you were able to somehow make the most of that. Something that would be like hell for any normal person. But I'm sure it still was in some ways for you, but that's pretty cool though.
Oh, one more thing I forgot about. Sorry, Shannon.
No, you don't have to apologize. This is what it's all about.
I know. While you're doing the course, if you stood up or it took a little like extra time getting over the wall, they're like, you got shot. You're a casualty now. And one of your 3 buddies in your fire team, they have to carry you now while doing that whole course.
Oh,
right. But I was the casualty, so my fire team was already not very happy with me. And then they had to drag me through.
You get a break now, though, right?
I get a break, and so they put me on their back, and they're just low crawling through the mud. They were supposed to drag me, but how can you drag me through mud? Like there's just like a wall, like I'm on my back holding my rifle, and they're dragging me, but they're literally just dragging like a wall of mud in front of my shoulders, and they're like, screw it. So they like put me on their back. I'm like laying on their back, and he's just crawling, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm trying to help him, but like. The dude's back I'm on is, as mentioned before, Antanasio, right? He's having just as much fun as I am. And he's like super like combat mindset. He's like, he wants to push himself. That's why he gets like 300 perfect scores on CFT. I started helping. I'm trying to help him. Like, I'm like pushing my feet, like just a little bit, like propelling through. And he's like, don't fucking help me. I'm like, I got this. I'm like, all right, bro. So I took a nap on his back.
You just sit there dead weight.
Yeah. Dead weight. Whatever. And now he always like brings that up to me, like every time we try to do something or every time we're talking like trash talking, he's like, whatever, dude. I literally carried you.
Literally carried you. Like you carried to a whole new definition.
He's like, I literally put you on my back. And, he always says that. I'm like, all right, you win that one.
You're diving into the mud ass was shot. That's funny, man. That is. So the big final day, I guess not literally the final day, but the big final like thing that marks
the culminating event.
Right.
The day you become a Marine.
Yeah, pretty big day for you.
Big day. Well, big couple days. It was a 3-day thing.
It's a 3-day thing? I didn't know.
3-day thing. Oh yeah, you wake up at 2 a.m. All right, the Crucible, everyone. The
Crucible.
The Crucible, the final thing of Marine Bootcamp. You wake
probably
up.
The most like famous part of the whole process.
Yeah, easily. You wake up at 2 a.m. and you hike out to the airstrip there. The airstrip's where you do BWT.
Hikes are fun.
Hikes are fun. BWT is, the airstrip's where you do BWT. We usually bus there for BWT, but we have to walk there. And it's like, I'd say like maybe an 8-mile, 7-mile walk,
That's annoying.
That's the beginning of the Crucible,
And you don't really walk, right? You march.
No, but
did you walk? You got to walk for that?
Hikes are for walks.
Hikes are different? Oh.
Yeah, well, you're still in formation. Like you're in 4x4 formation.
Okay, but you get to walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did that, but we took 2 different packs. We took like the little backpack with like a little MREs and stuff, like sleeping system. We took that, but we put our heavy main packs into like a little tractor trailer, and they drove it, and then we all got our stuff like later, already in the Crucible.
Okay.
So it was like kind of like not like a big hike. We just walked 8 miles with our little backpacks and stuff in our M16s. We got there, we get in the woods, and like the thing is like no one tells you like what you're gonna be doing for the Crucible. It's kind of like everyone always asks questions. They're like, hey, does anyone have any questions? And everyone like raises their hand. They're like, this recruit has a question. Like, what do we do in the Crucible? And it's always like, you'll find out, like one of those, like, you'll see when you get in there. You're like, oh crap, I have no idea what we're going on. And then we walk to the airstrip, and they're like, all right, you two go set a little perimeter, or like go find a base, and you set a base, and you set security, which like half of you like sit in a circle and eat breakfast, and the other half like post security, make sure like no one comes up and like tries to kill you, and all that stuff. You swap that, and then that's like kind of like your little base, and like all you do is wait for an event. And there was about, I'd say 20, 24 events in the Crucible. So you sit there and wait for like maybe a half hour, posting security or eating, and then you go do an event. There's like little events, like little like mini games or whatever. And they weren't games. They were games for the drone instructors, I'll tell you that. And then there was like major events. And there was only, I think, 6 major events. So, and then you did major events as like a company, but you do the little events as like your little platoon or fire team or squad. So we were like doing little events, like 30 mini games. Like you'd go up and they would have like a background story of like something a Marine did, because like all the mini games are based on like Marines.
Yeah.
So like there would be like a super high wall, and you have to figure out a way to get all the Marines going over. But like, if you send a Marine over, he can't like come back and like push you over and like run back around. You have to like, figure it out, stuff like that. Like so, but like the mini games weren't like really that challenging or whatever. It's just like they're like kind of team building things. But like what's crazy about the Crucible is like that's when like the drill instructors like actually start talking to you, like all the time and during boot camp they don't like they don't express like personal things.
Okay.
And like after the mini games they'll like sit you down in a little circle in a team building. So they're like, hey, like how was that? Like what do you guys think you went wrong? You're like, what's happening? And they're like, here's what you could have done. Like this would have helped you. And you're like,
thanks.
Thank you. Receive, sir. Do all that stuff. And they start telling you like, hey, like I am fire team and rescue, like MOS. And you start telling all this, like, you guys have any questions? And we all like talk about him. He's like talking about having a wife and a kid and all that stuff. And we're like, okay, cool. Yeah. And then, you're like right when you start getting comfortable, they're like, all right, let's go do a main event. You're like, oh shit, like stuff's about to get real. And what was the first main event we did? Fallujah. We did Fallujah first.
Fallujah?
Oh yeah, we went to Fallujah, Shannon. Say something. So Fallujah is all right, so you start in like a fake helicopter, right? And they're like singing the background story or whatever, and they're like, the helicopter's flying, like make the helicopter fly. We're like, what? It's like a fake helicopter. Like stomp your feet. So everyone's stomping their feet, making it sound like chompers. We're like, okay, we landed, we go, and we run to the tree line. Like no one knows what's going on. We haven't been like given instructions or anything. And like we run, we have like ammo cans. We have like an ammo can and a rifle. We run and we like run out of this tree line, and there's just like a long, like 300-foot sand pit.
300-foot sand pit?
Yeah, it's about 300 feet, right? You said that? Yeah, 300 feet. A football length sand pit.
It's a lot of sand, bro.
It's a lot of sand. And they wait to do this at like 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the day. And this is mid-July. So it's insanely hot. And you're in like super hot sand, right? And guess what?
Have you seen the sand pit before?
No.
No, it's just this random sand pit. You've never seen it.
It's like in the tree line. It's like hidden in the tree line, right? And then like once you all get to the sand pit, they're like, get on your face. You're like, oh no, And guess what we're doing, right? You're low crawling. You're smooth cool.
In the hot sand?
In the like super hot sand, carrying your rifle and an ammo can. So like you had your rifle, you had your ammo, but like
sweet.
Couldn't. Yeah, the thing is like what I quickly learned, I was like middle of the pack of my little squad. My drill instructor was going around and he was like taking ammo cans and throwing it behind him. He was like, "You left your ammo can, go get it." And I was like, I'm not going back and getting it. So I held on dear, like my dear life, my ammo can and my rifle. So you have to like sweep, like throw your ammo can and like drag yourself in.
Oh my god!
And the ammo can, like how heavy would you think an ammo can was? Like 30 pounds, like a little. We have one. Wait, can you hand me the ammo can? Oh no! Right. Oh my god! All right. So like this is like what you're carrying, right?
So you're sweeping that back and forth in the sand.
Oh my god! Like you saw that, right? Like
I saw it. Yes.
Yeah, you're sweeping that through, in like the blistering hot sand, hot as it like possibly could be. You're wearing like full camis with your sleeves rolled down, like your war belt, and you're sweep pulling. And then here comes my drill instructor like trying to take my ammo can, right? And I'm just like holding on for dear life. And I have my head down. I just see his boots, And then he starts kicking sand in my face. He's like, "Come on, let's fucking go! Like, pull up." And I was like, "Oh, sorry," all this stuff, right? And he tried to take my ammo can. I was like, I ripped it out of his hand. I'm like, ain't no way. And he was like, "Fuck yeah, that shit motivates me." I was like, "Oh, sir," I'm dying though. And like, we finally get to the end. It was like me and like another dude finished like way before everyone else because we were just like, let's get the shit over with, right? Yeah. But like the thing is, like once everyone gets in the sand, there's like a big radio speaker pit, like just like speakers, and they're playing like war sounds louder than I think actual war is, like it's absurdly loud. Like my ears were ringing after this, like for a while. Like I've never been to war, but I think that is louder than actual war. It's like they just have it like blaring. It's like, just like all this like crazy. Yeah, people screaming and everything. And like that was Fallujah, right? And you turn around and look at people, and people were like are still in like the first quarter of it because they're just like giving up. Like this, like people say like the Crucible is like the hardest thing most people like ever do. Like that, like you could see it on their face. Like they're literally dying because not only like they're like extremely tired or anything. Fuck the Marine Corps.
Good.
I love you.
All
Yeah,
right.
my roommate had to go do something. He opens the door and you hear someone down the hall scream, "Fuck the Marine Corps."
Oh, no. Sorry.
No. All right. Anyway, was it Fallujah, right? That was the like first main event. You see people like doing it, and he tells us to go into the tree line because like people are like having heat cases, like heat exhaustion, like heat stroke. Yeah. And like what we learned a couple weeks before we did the Crucible, and we were just chilling. And it was like range week or like table 1 week is like someone died in the Crucible, like a couple weeks ahead of us. Like someone was like having a heat stroke, and I don't know if you've been in a porta potty, like in like the summer where like the sun's like blaring down, but it's like an oven in there, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, I need to like take a break, and he was like having a heat stroke, and he went into the porta potty, and apparently he just sat in that little oven and like passed out, and like his buddy forgot about him, and everyone left, and he just sat there and like died and stuff. So like people were really worried about like dying, you know, and stuff like that. So right before the Crucible, like the day before, they handed us a little like hockey puck thing or whatever, and we put it on our chest, and it would always like we had to keep it on the whole time. It would measure our temperature. But that turned into a game for our drill instructors, you know, because they gave them a little iPad or like iPod, and they're like, all right, let's see how you guys are doing, right? So we waited. I had to wait for like everyone to finish like Fallujah, which took a while. It took them like 20 minutes. They was like rushing through, and like I'm still at the end. I'm still like sitting in a freaking blazing.
You have to keep on laying there.
Yeah, I'm just laying there with my ammo can. I'm still not letting go. Like my hand was like stuck close.
Yeah.
You know? I'm just waiting there, and then we finish. I'm like in the sand, like my hands are like blistering because it's like so freaking hot. And like he's like, all right, everyone finished. Like everyone get up and like walk to the shade of the tree line. You know, we are sitting there. And like we take our Kevlars off because like the Kevlar is like an oven too for your head. And we like sit down and we're chilling. And they're like, all right, how's everyone doing? You know, and everyone's like,
how's everyone doing? After
right?
that?
And they're like, all right, let's all check your temperatures, right? So like he pulled it up, and then he's like, all y'all are in the green. Go back.
You're like, no way.
There's no freaking way. And he's like, yeah, I think this shit's broken, you know. But like he played that game with us, like but yeah, that was Fallujah. That was it, you know. That's like all you do. You just low crawl in the sand for like 300 feet and like the heat of everything. It was terrible. I had a lot of fun though.
It doesn't sound like it. I don't know how you're gonna have fun with that. Like I don't even know. What's give us a recap of then. You said there's like 4 or 5 of these main events.
Oh yeah. Another main event was the endurance course, where it's like a long course for like little mini obstacles. Like you would run with your rifle, you're running with your rifle, and there's like a little rope swing, like the rope swing across like a little ditch and like stuff like that. Or like you would run and jump a wall, run over a wall, or like there's some more low crawling stuff like under barbed wire, all that stuff. And it's like a couple miles long, and you just sprint the whole time. Like that's the main event. One of the craziest things that people like, people say Fallujah is the hardest, but this is where people say the night hike is the hardest. Yeah. So the night hike is, do you do the night hike with your day pack on? Your little backpack, right? With the day pack?
Yeah.
You do the night, all right. You have like a little day pack, like the same backpack you hiked out there with.
Yeah.
And they, oh yeah. And then, so they give every fire team of 4, they give every team 2 ammo cans and like a water jug and stuff. And the water jug is like, I don't know how to say it, but it's like a big jug like this tall, and you have to carry it. Is full.
So you
can
have a drink, right?
Oh, it's full of sand. That's full. Of
sand.
So
no water. Okay.
No. But like the water jug was for your whole squad.
Yeah.
So like your squad was like 18 people, your fight team was like 4. So like you could pass on the water jug between 18 people, but you can only pass your ammo can to your buddy, you know. So everyone had, and you do a hike, you know, but like you're doing a hike with like really heavy equipment, and it's not like just like a normal like walking hike. Like they keep the pace pretty high, so you're like, you know, like Oh, it's a brisk walking speed, and people were like dying, and they used this part to get back at everyone who was like annoying at boot camp. Like our third amigo, his name was Say, right? He never could like not laugh, not smile. He had the biggest smile on his face all the time. So they made him like, "Hey, Say, carry this water jug, right?" So he was like, "I started just carrying the water jug." He's like grabbing it like this because it's like it's a really awkward thing to carry.
Yeah.
You don't like you keep like how do I do this? You know, and
Does everyone like
Really?
try different techniques on like how to carry it?
Yeah, but you can't like put it on the shoulder. You can't do
Oh.
that. They're like, yeah, because like that's easy.
That's too
Yeah.
easy.
It's too easy.
That's messed up, bro.
Yeah. And then you're walking around and they're like, okay, Say, run around. Like so everyone's like walking in their like little 4x4 formation, and it's like the whole company of like 400 people. They were making Say do laps around while everyone was still moving. You know, he did like 3 laps or
Jeez.
something. They really broke it. Like that kid was like crying. They grabbed another dude, and after like his like second lap, he grabbed a dude called Foley, and we all hated Foley. Foley was like another kid just like Say, but he gave up way too easy. Like Say's a big dude. Like he's like a strong, like he's tough, right? But they grabbed Foley, and he's like a weak little kid. And they're like, okay, Foley, if you pass Say, you have to give Say your water jug, right? And Say heard this. And he's like, no, fuck you, Foley. He's sprinting because he's all full tears because like his body is breaking, you know? And like everyone's breaking because like he's doing that part. Like that's the hard part. I mean, I shouldn't have hyped it up like that because the actual like walking with ammo cans and like passing it off like every time because like it's like annoying like how fast you have to walk with this ammo can with a rifle and your like day pack or whatever. Like all that weight like starts to add up. And you're like walking in like a brick space. But it's only they don't tell you how far you're gonna walk. So like you're just walking into the night unknown. You know,
So
like,
you don't have any idea how far you have to go?
No.
Oh, that's
no
terrible.
Idea.
That's
terrible.
rough.
You don't know when you're gonna stop. Like you don't know where the finish line is. You don't know anything. You just keep like passing it, right? And like that happened. They stop you halfway, right? You don't know how long halfway was because you're just like freaking out, right? And like Say like passes out or whatever, you know, like they have to stop people because like they don't want people dying because like people were like
I can't decide if they do want people dying or if they don't because like it's
they will push you up until death before they start carrying.
But they want to see how close they can get. They're like curious.
They're gonna see how like close they can get. Yeah, and then they stop you halfway. We stopped for like 20 minutes because like one kid passed out and they had to like do like an emergency evac or whatever.
Okay.
Something like that. They had like ice pack like his whole body. They're like, hey, you know, you okay? You awake and stuff like that. And they keep him awake and stuff. We had to do that, and then they're like, okay, get up, start moving. You're like, oh, you know, Frank, this sucks. You know,
Jeez.
We kept doing it, and apparently it was like, how long was this, Scrub? The night hike.
It was terrible. It was like 5, 6, 7
miles. Yeah, it was like 5 miles. That was it. And you get to the end, they're like, okay, you can go to bed. You know, and you like go to bed. But it's just, like you have to grab your main pack from the back of the trailer. You do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the night hike. Yeah, that was that.
Gotcha.
People said like that was the worst thing.
That the Fallujah sounds worse to me. That sounds absolutely awful.
Oh yeah, I mean Fallujah was the hardest thing for me, but it was all right, you know.
I feel like
it's
all right. It was really not then. I mean,
no, like what makes it like so much harder for them is the people like just sitting there like taking their time with it. They're like, you know, instead of just like busting it out, like just doing what you have to do. I feel like that's what makes it hard for everyone else. And like, yeah. And then I can't remember. Oh, the last thing before the second to last event was Fallujah again, but at night.
You had to do it again. Is that better then? Because the sand's not as hot?
More fun because they hiked. They have like a different drill instructor describing like the history before it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to finish this story before I have to leave, and then we can continue it. It was my hat, my favorite illustrator of all time. He was screaming out, and he was like, what do they call, what was like the nighttime Fallujah? What was the battle? Guadalcanal. It was called Guadalcanal.
Okay.
And you had your ammo cans again. it was like because since it wasn't so hot and you were so hyped with adrenaline, they were playing war sounds. They were shooting flares again, and like it was like hype. It was just like fun. Oh yeah, mortars too. It was like hype. It wasn't that bad. It was actually probably the easiest event. And then the final culminating event is that like 10-mile walk back with all your gear on your back, with your rifle and everything you used.
Hour sleep.
Yeah, and like after that Guadalcanal, because Guadalcanal's the night, you go to sleep, you wake up like an hour later, or like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're like, pack up all your stuff. Here we go. You know, like you start walking.
Yeah.
And like that was it. But that's all the events.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, do you have to get going?
I have to go do formation, and then I can tell you like the final end and a boot camp if you want to do that.
Okay. Can we reconvene tomorrow and do it? Will you have?
Do you want to do it tomorrow?
Yeah. How much time do you have right now?
I have to get dressed, and then I'll be back.
Okay.
But if you want to continue later, I don't have that much to say.
Well, I don't want to rush you. Cause I gotta get going too. But
you gotta get going too.
Yeah.
If I still have power tomorrow because we have a hurricane coming,
okay,
we can do that tomorrow, and then I can start the final ceremony of boot camp.
Okay, no worries. I definitely want to hear about it, so I don't want to rush you through anything.
No problem.
And yeah, it's no rush to upload it either. So yeah, it's good. This is fantastic though. I mean, this is really good. I love how in depth it is. Johnny was in depth. You know, Johnny's just trying to. He like glazes over something. So like, yeah, that sucks, but whatever. And he just like goes right through it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciate.
I'm trying to recruit. You know.
Yeah. I understand how much fun it is. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. All right, but
it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways,
just text me whenever you want to come back.
Okay.
Like, we'll finish it up. It's on you.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
All right. No worries. Sounds good. All right.
Jen, I gotta
talk
go.
To you tomorrow then.
I'll talk to you whenever.
Sounds good. The hike. So it's what do you say? 13-mile hike to end it.
Yeah, something like that.
And
it was like a. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please describe it.
Describe it. I think I described some of it, right? You just got all of your stuff on your back that you're just carrying on like an hour's worth of sleep or something. Some people don't even get that hour of sleep because every time you go to sleep, you always have fire watch. You know, there's people gotta look over you. You know, like make sure there's nothing fishy going on or anything. So some people no sleep.
How is that decided? Who decides who's on fire watch?
We have a scribe. You know, this is our scribe right here for between 3053, and he makes a list, and you're gonna watch on fire. So, you know, if there's any person to make a friend with in boot camp, scribe, no fire watch. Oh no, and you know, if
I'm gonna have like a running counter for like how many times it falls.
I just have it like on a coffee cup. Like I don't know what to do.
Good. Right. So the scribe is keeping track of this for you.
Yeah, and if you piss off scribe or like you're talking when you're like not supposed to be doing, or you're doing anything stupid, he'll just like write your name down and then you got fire watch that night. Sometimes if you really piss him off, you have 2 straight hours of fire watch.
So do you volunteer to be scribe on like the first day?
Well, we didn't know what a scribe was, and this man just got picked day 1, never got fired. I
guess that's a good thing.
But anyway, it's a great thing. Yeah. He has like little like minions, I guess, like people that work under him, you know, and they're called scribbles.
Pyramid scheme.
And I was like, wow, yeah. So I was like, wow, scribe's in charge of Firewatch. I need to get close to this guy. So I became a scribble, and you know, whenever scribe didn't feel like doing anything, he's like, hey, you know, let's make the Firewatch roster. I'm like, bet. Guess who's not going to be on there? Me. Say something. You know?
So you didn't have Firewatch ever? That can't be true.
Not really. I had it a couple times, but like way less than literally everyone else.
So you got to sleep?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So what's going through your head with the hike? Are you still just like, oh, just get through it?
The hike.
You must be just like running on nothing at this point. Like, do you even have the capacity to think?
You would think so, but then you know, you wake up that morning, you're like, you know, holy crap! Like today's the day I become a Marine. You know, like this is that day. You know, I'll become a Marine today. You pack up all your stuff, like you get in formation. You do all your counts, make sure everyone's here and alive, and they're like, all right, route step march, bro, and we all start marching. That's the beginning of our journey. We walked all over this island. Yeah, dude, get a count of this too. All this freaking. Oh no, I disappeared. All right, anyway. We start marching. We march all over the freaking island. We march all the way to this place called E Beach, and we stop. It's like we walk like 3 miles, and we take like a 10-minute break. Make sure people aren't dying. Get some water in you and all that stuff, and then you get up and start moving again. Every 3 miles or so. But what really pissed me off is like after like BWT and the Crucible, like you never want to see that stupid airstrip again. You're like. You walk off the airstrip, you walk onto the main road, and you're like, I'm done with that place. Never again, right?
Yeah.
Right. And you walk all the E Beach, make a U-turn, and you come to like this 4-way intersection, right? And like you've been there for like 3 months, you know how to get home, right? You walk off the E Beach, you make a left, there's home. There's all your base. That's where you become a Marine, right? So of course we make this fat right turn back into the airstrip. We're like, oh my fucking guy. You didn't know you were going back to the airstrip. You just thought like maybe you're gonna make a big loop around, right?
Yeah.
And we're on this main road, and then you just take a weird. All right, they're like turn left. You turn left, and there's just a tree line. Like there's no path or anything. There's just like this tiny, skinny, beaten down path, which you think people never walked in. You're like, oh crap! Like who pissed off the drill instructor? We're all about to die right now. Like. And then you just like you're walking through these trees, like you're moving these bushes and stuff, and then like next thing you know, you're back on the freaking airstrip, just like randomly come out, and like everyone's so pissed because you thought like you want to walk towards a goal. Like you can keep yourself motivated if you're like walking from point A to point B, but if you're just making laps, then you're just like, when will this freaking end? That was like the main stressor of the hike, really.
Because you don't know how long it is. They didn't give you any details or any like, oh, this is the route.
Well, they give you. They give you like say like, oh, it's like 11 miles, but you've never walked like 11 miles straight for it. Like you don't know, like they're not saying like,
you don't know what that feels like.
Okay, this is mile 1. Yeah, you don't know how far you are or anything.
Time for mile 2.
It's just like you have to guess in it. Like I remember my drill instructor, we've been like hiking for like 3 hours at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think you're almost done, and we were almost done at this point, but we didn't know we were almost done. And then someone like finally asked him the question. Like, how much longer do we have to go? And he's like, yeah, like 10 more miles, right? And you're like, what? But everyone's so beaten and broken that like they believed him. They're like, no, like, like they don't die. Oh yeah, they thought they were like halfway done or something. Like, but in reality, only like a couple miles. Mm-hmm. And like the main part, like the hike was the worst part for me. Just because I didn't set up my pack correctly and all the stuff in it. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal because I was like, I become a Marine today. I don't care, whatever. But like the way you want to set up your pack on the inside is you want the lighter stuff in the bottom and on the sides, and you want the main heavy stuff like higher on your back, up near the top. So like it's like the least amount of weight, and you want to tighten every little thing. Like you want to squish that pack down so it's not like pulling. Like you're not. Oh no.
Yeah, you get.
Dude, I need to get some AirPods. Just pull it back, so you're not like walking with like your back like this, or like it's an art to packing your pack. I did not pack my pack the way it was, so I was hurting in the shoulders. How did you pack it? Oh, I just
just threw everything in there.
Just don't care,
I like how this is the last day and you still hadn't learned that lesson. You were just like, oh, whatever.
They actually never even taught us how to properly pack our pack. I didn't learn that until after boot camp, and we went to MCT. And they're like, all right, we're going to do a 15K hike. We're like, oh, that was the same as school. Like, no, thank you. But like, they're like, don't worry. We're going to teach you something that would have saved your life in the Crucible. You're like, how do you do that? And they like, my combat instructor like perfectly packed this pack. Like he showed it. We all like circled around him.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to do this? And there's straps even like inside the bag. It's like you buckle this, you tighten this, you buckle all of these things. And I put the pack on, and it was like not the same weight as the Crucible hike, but I put it on, and I'm like, what the frick?
Like, I can do this.
I had a pillow on my. It just felt like a pillow on my back. But like during the Crucible, oh no.
I have to do a counter, bro. It'd be so funny.
right, what if I put this here? Put this here. Stand by, Shannon.
No, you're good. So you're learning how to pack
Yeah.
this pack, and I'm sure there's like a moment of realization,
Mhm.
like you just said, that like, oh shit, like I could have made my life, 1,000 times easier. But did it
Oh,
seem
yeah.
obvious? Were you like, wow, I should have known that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah. So take me to the end of the
But
hike then, like the moment you become a
right.
Marine. This is like what it's all
The
about.
moment we come, this is like, yeah, this is the moment you're just like,
Yeah.
whoa, we walk like all the way, and then we get back to like actual familiar territory, and you get there and you stop, and then everyone's like, you take like a longer break. It was like a 30-minute break, because like the hike at that point is done because you're right there.
Mhm.
They're like, okay, like this is the last mile. We're gonna so get ready. We're all hyped. Like a Marine is a mile down the road. And they get up, and then we start doing these wails. Like you started like not like sing songs, but like they say something, you scream. What is that called? Cadence, right? Like they'll sing a thing.
I
You're
think
like,
you should
whatever
know
we say,
that.
just
But
say it. Just I don't know the name for it.
you good.
Because we only did that one
Mhm.
time. You don't like
Okay.
they're like saying like, oh, I don't know the songs. Hey, give me a song real quick. It'll come to. What did we do on the hike back? The hiking cadence. Give me. All right.
You're good. I don't need a live concert. Unless you want to.
Concert. Anyway, but
Come
you
on,
could
George.
scream it, and then they would scream it, and you would scream it back. I can't. Like none of them are coming to the top of the grade right now.
You were very tired in the moment. I don't blame you.
Yeah, but I was screaming my life out because they wanted you to. Like, because in the beginning, like they're all tired, and they're just like, let's get this over with. But me and my close group of friends were like, fuck yeah, like hell yeah.
Was it like genuine, or was it a sarcastic Joker, George?
Oh no, this was genuine. About to be a Marine in like
That's
12
awesome.
minutes, George.
Yeah.
We're screaming, and like we're all like super tired, but we're still screaming our life off, like singing these songs or whatever. And then we get there, and so the path is we walk down this road, our like squad base and stuff, right there. We turn right, and we turn, and then there's this big. I'm sure you've seen it. There's this big. I don't know what it is, but it's like a sign that says "We make Marines."
Mm-hmm.
And then we walk under that. We're like, oh crap, like we're getting like ever so closer, and then you're starting to like feel it. And you're like I'm about to be done. We walk into this like parking lot for like the big where people park for like graduation and stuff.
Yeah.
If you actually have graduation, you park there, and then they're like, all right, stop, drop your packs, and then they're like, all right, get ready, because we practiced for the ceremony thing like the way before. They're like, well, what to do when they say these things. You drop your packs, and they're like, all right, adjust yourself. So I'm left-handed, so I had to put my gun to the right-handed way because everyone has to be uniform for this ceremony or whatever.
So you have to have the weapon in like a not useful orientation just for the optics.
Yeah, it was. So I'm like holding it like I forgot even how to hold it right-handed. I was like, what do I do? And we get there, and then we get to they're like, all right, I want like 8 rows back, and I was in the first line, and then I realized like I quickly caught on that like each drill instructor will be in charge of 2 lines handing out the EGAs, right? And I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong line. Like my senior drill instructor gets the first 2, my heavy drill instructor gets the next 2, and then my knowledge and my kill hat. And I've talked about like how I have like this connection with my kill hat, right?
Yeah.
So I step out of line so I look stupid. Right, so like I look purposely stupid, so like get in the back of the line, like I'm like yes, like I can do that. Like I look,
you made it this far, and then you're like, let me just do something stupid on purpose just to see what happens.
Yeah, because like, and when we're marching and stuff, I want to be in the front because I want to be like, oh damn, look at that dude, like he looking sexy, right? But I want to look stupid, so they'll be like, hey, we can't have you look stupid in the front and go to the back,
Yeah.
Big brain, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It makes sense. It made sense at the moment. I just had to get to the back because I wanted my drill instructor to give me my EGA. Right. And so then they're like, all right, guys, like, shut the fuck up and look professional. All right, we're ready. We walk out, we turn, we get in this formation. We're all sitting there, right? And they have like this little speech, and they're like, "Oh, bow your heads," and we all pray. And we all snap back up. And we're all looking, and then they start playing the song, right? And then you just see our drill instructors like walk out with like a tray of EGAs just sitting there, and I'm like, oh crap, you know, like I was like, I'm not gonna cry, you know, I'm not gonna cry. I told myself I'm not gonna cry, right? And then I see one of my 3 amigos named Say, he gets his EGA by his favorite or the dude that messes with him the most, and he was like the very first one out of like the whole platoon to get it. It wasn't in order, like that drill instructor was just the fastest one to get there. And I see him like talking, because like the way he was like talking to him was like not a way you've seen that man like talk before, like drill instructor. Yeah. And he was like, I'm reading his lips, and like I see him like, because he's all right. I'll give you a little representation of like how you stand, right? You can't see my face, but it's whatever, right? So you're holding your rifle, right-handed, right? Right. And like you stand behind your back, and then when the drill instructor like stands in front of you, you like put your heels together and put your hand out like this, right? So they can put the thing there, and then you, bam, after they give it to you, you know? And I wasn't crying or anything, but when I saw like how emotionally he was talking to my man Say, you know, and like Say had it worse. I told you like the night hike story, right? Yeah. How like he made him like do laps, like he broke him, like he had it the worst out of everyone in the platoon. And I saw like how genuinely the drill instructor was like talking to him, right? And then I saw him move on. I saw him like I read his lips. Like, you earned this, Say, like good job and stuff. And I saw him. He walked away. He snapped his hand behind. I was like, oh my boy Say made it, bro. Like he made it. Oh, I'm proud of him, right? And then I see my drill instructor come by, and I was like, oh, I can't cry. I can't cry in front of him. Like he's my man, you know. He walks in. He like does his little twist, his dramatic twist to face me. I like stand at attention, like stick my hand out, and he's like, Glover. I was like, oh no. And then I started crying, man. I was like, frick. That's all I had to say was Glover. And I was like, frick, man. Right. And he's like, you know what I like about you? I'm like, what? No, sir. You know, I didn't know what to say, because I thought I was not saying anything. And he's like, no, sir. He's like, no matter what I did, like how hard I tried to break you always had fun at boot camp. You know, you only have one boot camp experience. Like, or some of these people get dropped and you do boot camp all over again. You know, unless you want that to be you or something like that. I don't know. Right. So he's like, you only have one boot camp experience, and like you made it yours. Like no matter what, you were having fun doing all of this stuff. Like you did you. I was like, yeah. So you're in full tears at this point. Yeah. No, I was holding it back. Yeah. I'm not. It was like the way I was holding it back. And then you just have like this dramatic, like, you can't wipe your tears, right? You have to stand there. No, you have to come out. Stand there and just like, right. And he gives me a speech. He's like, you're going to do great in the fleet. Like, I expect big things of you. Right. And I was like, thank you, sir. And I sat back and he walks away. And I thought at that point, I was thinking like, he says that to everyone, you know, like he gives a speech to everyone. Like, but apparently, and he moves over to the person next to me and he's like, here you go, good job, and walked away. So I got like, like could you imagine being the guy like next to you? Yeah. He heard this give me a whole speech, and then he gets like a good job, and that's it, and then moves on. But yeah, I'm full sobbing. Like at that point, I was frick, and like I was just thinking. And at the end, after they give everyone their EGAs, you sing the Marines hymn, like you scream it or whatever. All right, you screaming the hymn, and it was like a really dramatic moment because I'm crying. I'm singing the hymn as loud as I possibly can. Yeah, because I'm like, you know, like I'm a Marine. This is like the first thing I'm doing as a Marine. I might as well make all the other past, present, and future Marines. Yeah, like it was like a connecting moment. So I did that, and then I'll walk up to like the Iwo Jima statue. You know, have you seen? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I've been to Parris Island. I've seen some things. Yeah. Oh yeah, you've seen some things, right? And I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, and then our company drill instructor, our first sergeant, gives us a whole speech, right? And he gives us the speech. And he's like, you know, congratulations, everyone, right? We turn around, and then our senior drill instructor, he's like, 53. We all like run over to him. We're like, aye, sir. And he's like, no, it's I, staff sergeant. You know, like now we call them by their ranks instead of like, aye, sir. we're all like,
Oh.
I saw
You're like,
something, all this stuff. Like we're friends now. No.
I wouldn't.
Some people thought they were friends with the general instructor and they got a little too comfortable. But yeah, that was the whole moment, and it was just like a weird thing.
Damn.
And yeah, but like that wasn't. Yeah, that's about it.
So what was your graduation ceremony like? Because I was able to go to Johnny's, and that was like a very big thing because like COVID, you couldn't go to the graduation ceremony. It
Right.
was extremely strict. But was able to get in there. It was raining. It was inside, and it was just like such a surreal moment for me. First of all, I feel like an idiot like walking in there, like, and there's just I'm sitting on the opposite side, and there's just like hundreds of Marines just yelling in
Right.
unison. I'm like, oh damn,
yeah.
this is crazy. It's just a really cool thing
This is
to
crazy.
see and experience, and it was obviously really cool to see Hoppy do that. But tell me about yours. I'm not sure if COVID
Yeah.
had changed a little bit in terms of attendance and who could be there, but and just what that moment was like. If it was more special than actually completing the Crucible, or what?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, also, Hoppy told me that story where he was just sitting there, and I think his first sergeant came up to him and talked about like he thinks he impregnated his daughter, right?
Right.
Something like that. He told me
Yeah.
that, and then he sees you in the background. I'm sure you freaked him out like a lot.
Yeah, it was a surprise. He was like, wait a second, he had to do a double take. Yes.
But for my graduation, we were lucky. I think we were one of the first ones to have a completely open graduation. Like
Oh, that's
anyone could
fantastic, yeah.
come. Yeah. But the thing is, before graduation, you have like a week to practice graduation. And so you just like practice the same thing over and over again. And it gets really boring, like you just walk and it's like it's a 40-minute thing. And you're just walking in the heat and there's all that. But if anyone would mess it up, they were like, all right, get back. And you'll have to sprint back to the beginning or whatever and you'll be started over. But my graduation, you dress up in your dress blue Charlies,
Right.
Deltas. It's a short sleeve shirt, but it's blue pants. You do the whole ceremony, you do your thing. You walk by, like you march by with like your head faced to the left, like looking at all the families so like they can look at you and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get back in formation. They honor like the personnel to be recognized, so like the top person in each platoon.
Yeah.
You do that, and then like have this.
Did you get a name drop?
Like, I should have, and
You should have.
I can't believe I did. I know I should have. I feel robbed a little bit, but it's fine. Anyway, yeah, they do that, and then they're like, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, like this is the final thing, like that." And it was like the final order that their drill instructors would give them would be like the final moment that day or a thing, right? And they're like, "Dismiss your platoons," right? And then you hear like each platoon getting dismissed, and I'm the second to last one, and then all you hear is platoon 3033. Dismiss, right? And then you're like, you take a step backwards, you scream, sergeant, you turn around, you scream oorah, and you take a step, and then like that's your final step as like a student in a boot camp, right? And then everyone comes, you turn around and you see all the families like sprinting towards the Marines. And it's like there's like 5,000 people, or there's like a crazy amount of people, and they're all sprinting towards me. Or not me. Yeah, everyone wants to see me.
Yeah, just all 5,000. George Glover.
It looked like it. Yeah, everyone was sprinting.
Look at that iron duck over there. Gotta meet that guy.
That iron duck. That guy is amazing. You should see his marching skills. Anyway, everyone's just sprinting, and I'm looking towards my family, and then I see my family, and like they're crying. I was like, oh my god, like this is a moment. I mean, it wasn't that special. It wasn't as special as it was because I also had a family day right before it. So like, it wasn't the first time I saw him at graduation. I saw him the day before. But like I saw my parents. I saw both my parents. That surprised me in coming. Like I'm talking to my family. I turn around, right, and I see my dad. He's like sobbing. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like I didn't even know he was coming. And he's like, I'm so proud of you, boy. And I was like, thanks, pops. Like. He's like, you're so big.
Cool.
I was like, yeah. And then I saw my grandparents. They surprised me too. They were all sobbing, and crying, and then we all hung out together for a couple hours, and then
that's fantastic.
That was it.
So, are you treated that week leading up to the graduation? Are you treated significantly different because you're Marine now, or is it like pretty much the same thing?
You're treated like way different.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks after you finish school and the graduation. You get
Yeah.
a Marine week, and then you get a thing called like graduation week, where you just prep for graduation. Those weeks are like super crazy, like because they'll talk to you like normally. You still have stuff to do, so they're always like, like, guys, you need to do this or whatever. You need to do that. But like other than that, like when you guys are like walking or marching to like go eat or do paperwork or whatever you need to do, like it's just completely different. Like they talk to you like you're humans now. And it's a weird feeling.
So then the drill instructors would then rotate to another incoming group, and then they'd go through the weeks again.
Yeah, they're right back at it.
Yeah. Jeez.
And like during those like 2 weeks, you don't have to say this recruit anymore because you're Marine, so you can talk first person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't mesh back into that. They're always like this recruit, and then everyone's like, "Oh, you're still a recruit, huh? You want to be a recruit? Tight, strip, push." Yeah, stuff like that.
That's crazy.
That's
man.
boot camp.
Yeah. Just like one moment, and then you're like a person again.
Yeah.
I mean, not one moment. It's
The only
several
thing-
weeks building up to it, but you know what I mean.
Several weeks. Yeah. The one thing that's like different about boot camp, like the only thing that COVID really changed for me was that you didn't get to go home right after boot camp. Like, you stayed the night after that graduation. You stayed the night, one last night, and you already graduated. You get your phones back. You're like just chilling in the racks with your phone. Like,
Where did they keep your phones?
Most of them had their families send them after graduation. So like they were just coming in the mail at that point.
Yeah.
I had my mom bring mine because I didn't want to like lost in the mail or something. Because some people like lost their phone, never got it, it's stuck in the mail, and you still don't have it. Stuff like that. We're just chilling on our racks. Everyone's blaring music or something like that. It's really stupid. It's like obnoxious. And then you wake up, pack all your stuff, and like get on a bus and go to North Carolina. That was it. The Marine combat training.
What was the notifications like on your phone?
None. I didn't have any. It's really weird. Like
Zero.
no one even oh my god. Like I gave Andrew my address. I gave my boy Chunk, our boy Chunk. Yeah. My address, like
Love
write me
Chunk.
letters, like yeah. First of all, we talk every day. Like he was an everyday guy I talked to before boot camp. We would play video games all night together, all night. Right. I didn't get a single letter. From Chunk. He never showed up to my graduation. He said he would. He said he'd go to my graduation. And I opened my phone and I'm like, he at least texted me like once. No. Just nothing. Just nothing. I had like 2 messages from my mom, and that was before I even went to boot camp that I just never opened.
Damn.
It was like finally George is gone,
Nah.
Who cares?
Dude, that's actually crazy. That's messed up on
Yeah,
Chunk. We gotta call Chunk out. I said get him back on the podcast.
We gotta call Chunk.
You can't be doing that.
You went to Hoppy graduation, right?
I did.
Hoppy and Shannon are like just like Chunk and George, and within the
I can see the similarity. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you got the Jents apparently. I don't know how Shannon's a Gent. We still need your trial. There's no freaking way you should be a Gent. Out of all the
bro,
things,
what do you mean?
Out of all the
Gent until proven
trash
dog
stuff you've done until
garbage
proven dog.
trash. That's a little strong.
I didn't want to.
I'm just a podcast host. I'm just a
podcast host with some dirty secrets.
No, oh my god, jeez. On my own show, dirty secret. I have no secrets, guys. Nothing. Not one. Zero. Yeah, George, keep it. Yeah, I don't know what's so funny. I don't know what your deal is over there.
Hey,
I send Johnny a few texts for sure, even though I know he wouldn't answer. I'm just like, I would give him like updates on basketball.
Yeah,
it is a little weird, but yeah, that's fantastic. So if you were, is there anything you would do differently if you're doing it all over again, like with the knowledge you know now?
Boot camp?
Yeah. Other than like packing your backpack differently.
Yeah, definitely that. I'd probably try even harder. I would try to be more of a leader because the guides and the squad leaders all got promoted,
Mm-hmm.
And I would want to be guide. I want to be that dude carrying the flag, marching in front, like
looking sexy,
getting after my platoon. Oh yeah, like policing my thing. Like I'm drill instructor, my own thing. And the thing they always told us in like boot camp is like you guys can't fight each other. Like don't fight. That's the thing. But like all the other platoons I hear, they were just beating the crap out of each other. Like especially the guys in the squad leaders, they beat the crap out of the other people, like and get them in line. And they were just like, the drum sergeant would come and be like, "Hey, don't put your hands on it," and walk
And
away.
that's it.
You know,
Yeah.
like, that's I'm like,
Yeah.
I could have beat those kids up all the time. You know, like there's all those annoying ass kids. Anyway,
So that's what you took away from it.
so basically, if I could do boot camp again, I would break more rules.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
So maybe that was the wrong question to ask. If you were giving advice to someone else who was doing boot camp, what would you tell them to do? The same thing?
It's like learn to have fun with it. Like if
Yeah.
you don't have fun in boot camp, you're literally there for 3 months. You know, like you can't get out. Like literally the quickest way. Like people try to quit, and there's people who shipped with me and that are still there today, even though they quit, because it takes forever to get out of there. Like even if you're injured, like
Yeah.
they're still there, and they're probably gonna be there for more months. You know, like some people like wait out their entire contract in boot camp.
How long is
So
that?
like 4 years.
No way. 4 years just sitting there?
I've heard stories, but everyone always lies, so who knows, you know? But like
Yeah.
like the advice is just like have fun with it and just like get it done. That's all you need to do.
So
Just learn
even
to
if
have
you
fun.
want to quit, you can't leave right away. If you're like, I want to go right
No.
now.
No.
What if you just ran off? What happens?
If you escaped,
Yeah, you escaped.
first of all, you're on an island. You know,
So you just start
I'm sure
booking it towards the
Sure.
gate, towards mainland
yeah.
South Carolina. Who
I don't know.
knows?
Maybe I would have tried. Maybe if I had
If
to
you
start
did it
all over
again.
I would want to know what it felt, what the consequences would be. Because they never talked about someone escaping, so I guess that's never even been done.
I like how it's escaping like it's a prison. It's like you need to
Yeah.
dig your way out from the floor with a spoon or something.
Oh, yeah.
I
loved
would
it.
like to see a story of a Parris Island escapee. If anyone knows someone who made it out, let me know. I'll keep it
On the
confidential.
show.
How can you even
yeah.
punish them
No,
though? Like
it's
it's
a whole
not like
episode.
it's a whole. Oh, it would be a big deal. Yes.
Put me and Hoppy on here too.
Yeah. It would be really fun to hear if it's happened, of course. Anyways, so what's it like going forward right now? What's your plan? I may have asked you this at the beginning of the podcast, but I kind of forget.
So like right
Yeah,
after
go
boot
ahead.
camp, you go to Marine combat training in North Carolina. Unless you're infantry, you still go to North Carolina, but you do way harder stuff, like just stupid stuff. Like you hike, do all this crap. Like you hike with like big machine guns and water jug, like the night hike. Yeah, you do that for like 15 weeks or stuff. Like, you know, you're just running,
it's
getting
just
big. But like I went,
more of the
it
same.
gets you big. Yeah, they just get you big and strong over there.
Mhm.
I went through MCT. It's super easy. You just like you shoot for a week, and then you like live outside for a week or something like that, and you learn to is nothing. Yeah, and then after that you go to your MLS school. I'm in air crew, so
Gotcha.
I came here to Pensacola, learned my job. I do swim survival for like 3 weeks, where you just swim and run all day, and do the helo dunk, where you know they drop you in a helicopter and do all that stuff.
You've come so far.
And then I
being
learned
an Iron Duck.
Oh, so far. Yeah. God damn it. You know, I'm no Iron Duck. Iron Dog.
It's great. So once you're done in Pensacola, where would you be off to? Do you have any idea?
I'm here for a month or two.
Mhm.
I go to wherever my mechanic school is. So whichever particular plane or helicopter I work on, I would go to that specific region or where they teach that. So it's either in California or back in North Carolina. And then I do SEER school after that, which who knows what SEER school is because they're not allowed to talk about it.
You're not allowed to
Kosher
talk
school
about
is
it?
what I heard. Yeah. No, like when you get there, you have to sign a contract. Can't talk about SEER school.
Well, that's not.
Apparently they capture you and it's just
It doesn't
torture
apply
school.
to the Shannon, the show, though. So, like, once you're done with that, you can come on the show and talk about it.
100%. I would be the breaker. 100%.
I'm pretty sure on the
Everyone's
contract,
gonna know about SEER school.
there's no way on the contract it says you cannot talk about it on the Shannon show. There's no chance.
No, that's like the whole. Oh yeah, there's no way.
No clause in there. Yeah. I mean, if we keep on blowing up, like if we keep on getting bigger guys, like who knows? Maybe we'll be written on the SEER school contract.
Might risk my whole career. Talk about SEER school with Shannon.
Just to share it with our best friends, the viewers.
Just to share. Oh my god. Great
Anyways,
times, great
it's been a blast, man. Seriously, hearing your
Dude.
story.
Honestly, one of the top episodes already. I can feel it coming.
It really
Gonna
is.
blow up
It really is.
again, Shane.
I think
Hell yeah.
I think it's the longest one too, which I mean, well deserved.
My
For
bad.
real.
I had a lot of
I think-
details.
No, it's good. Well, my favorite part, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Probably diving face first into the mud. Just hearing you do that over and
Oh,
over again,
my
and
favorite
how you
part
were
too.
just
It's my
committed to the
favorite part.
cycle. You're like, I'm just going to keep on going. So,
Gotta keep going.
how often are you referred to as the Joker? Can I put in the title George the Joker Glover?
It was just that one dude.
It was just
called
that
me
one
the
dude.
Joker. That one dude. So unless he's watching the show, no one will know. You know?
That's a greght nickname, and then you can spell it with a G. Actually, no, that's kind of dumb. But George Joker Glover.
And now you're
sounds
stretching
like
it. Now
it
you're
sounds like
stretching
some alliteration right there. I'm digging it. Anyway,
Where's the Joker?
yeah, it's tight.
Do you have any
Alright.
titles for this besides George the Joker? I'm curious now.
Any what?
Any titles for this episode other than George the Joker spelled out stupidly?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe for Johnny's I did like the Bootcamp Chronicles. I don't know, I'll have to think about it. There's yeah, it's like a big story. Like if you're gonna listen to this, you need to do it in like one sitting. Grab yourself a nice cup of coffee or a hot chocolate, sit by the fireplace, just really take it in.
Oh, yeah.
And or maybe you're going to boot
I
camp
gotta catch
soon.
up on all your episodes.
Yeah, I can send you a few of the good ones that you don't have to go through everything.
Really good one. Some of those like lesser
I'll let you
known
know.
people, like those 20 view episodes or something like that.
Oh my god. There's only a few like that. I had I'm trying to think if there's anyone. I had
Who's
Sky
that?
on the show.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the episode. I just heard about it.
It wasn't that crazy. I think we might have mentioned the cave. Maybe. There might have been a cave reference. I know we definitely talked about it off
Might have
the
been a
air.
grave room.
Yeah, there might have been a cave reference. And
I
you know
don't
what
think you
happens
put it
in
on
the
the
cave.
show.
I don't always recently I don't really rewatch them. I just kind of put it out.
I didn't even watch my episodes.
That's right.
Stayed
You and
humble.
Chunk
I didn't
don't
watch
listen.
them.
Chunk doesn't listen to his either. He says, "I lived it. Why do I need to listen to it?"
I was there. I mean, I do want to see like you have very good editing skills. I don't know if you have an editor or that's all you.
No, that's all me. I've
But-
gotten much better. I'm not sure if you remember the early days. It was not the best. I appreciate that though. It's a grind.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
that's what
good.
it's all about. Another
I did
big
rewatch
episode.
your first episode with Hoppy,
You did?
and like, yeah, the show is dramatically improved. Are
The-
you sponsored yet? Are you sponsored yet?
No. Shh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Kool-Aid is coming soon. Kool-Aid is coming soon. I can feel it.
Cool.
Feel it. Yeah.
I don't see that hat. My face is in the way. What hat is that?
It's a Sunny D.
Sunny
hat.
D. Oh, okay.
Mhm. That would also
I
be.
don't know
a
if they're
big one.
rivals. Kool-Aid and Sunny D.
They could be. They could be. I don't know. Oh yeah, another big episode coming up next week. So like, make sure to subscribe and everything.
Big
yeah,
episode.
I'm
What's
sure-
the big episode.
I'm talking to the director of Jodea, actually. Tom
No
Brady.
way.
Yeah. Yes way.
Tom Brady.
Kind of crazy. It's been like
His name's Tom
weeks
Brady?
in development. His name is Tom Brady, so he's like the second most important Tom Brady.
The goat of Dodea.
The goat of Jodea. How about your Yankees, man? Haven't they won like 13 in a row? I'm not sure if you're keeping up.
13 in a row. How about that, man? That's crazy. How's your Phillies?
500 per usual, year after year.
Solid. Sure.
It's just how it goes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we're coming. We're coming up. We're making it interesting.
Yeah, you guys looked real bad for a while, but yeah, whatever. Yankees. I don't have anything else. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, George. We're gonna have you
Yeah.
back on the show. You're probably going to come around for the chamois. We're gonna have the chamois again this year, and this is definitely going to be up for a few awards. I can already feel that.
Yeah, I'm a fake fan. What are the chamois?
The chamois. Oh man, you don't remember the chamois from last? We have awards for the best episodes. It was a really small show last year. Sammy and I hosted it. The
Did it-
chamois awards.
Get an award? Did I get an
think
honorary award?
You did get an award. I think the trial of
Was it the
George
dog
Glover
award?
did get an award. No, not the dog of the year. We can give you dog of the year. We can. I'm sure you could win that for sure. Anyways, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Follow what